Yeah, what's up, guys? Come up, guys. Come up. Before the panel is full now, we all want to come up. Let's come up now. Let's have a chat briefly. So when the others come, I mean, you can talk about if you want to. Come up. Okay, what's up with you? Come up, guys. You are welcome. You are welcome. Let's shake this table a little. Let's shake this table a little. Let's shake this table a little. Yeah, let's shake this table. For those people who have their very, very strong stance against feminism or the wings of men, yeah, let's shake them up a little tonight. Let's shake them up a little tonight. I would like to hear how many men will actually, hey Gina, I'd like to hear how many men will actually take maternity leave. You know, I would like to hear on this panel how many men are willing to take maternity leave. And they must also explain to us if this is how a man must provide, a man must lead, all the mentality, if this is how it works. Because now you and I have to take maternity leave and go be with your child. Okay, what's up? Good evening. I'd like you all to come up. So yeah, let's get the conversation started. I'd like to hear from everybody, men and women. What do you think about this new court ruling? It's a new ruling. It's not a law yet. The parliament still has to pass it, but that's just formalities as it stands right now. If it always existed, what did the court decide? What happened in courts, Gina? What was happening in courts? Hey, Alti, welcome. That's why I put the word mentality.
Good evening, Mr. Ancient. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I put the word mentality.
I'm fine, thank you.
Court. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, it's actually paternity leave and it was always existed. Husbands can now take their wife's surname, fathers can now take maternity leave.
Yeah, I put maternity leave there. I put maternity leave there in quotes as a sarcasm, but that's basically what it is. Fathers can now take the same way mothers would take 4 months maternity leave. Fathers can also do the same. You know?
Yeah, basically it is that way.
Yeah, so that's why I use the word maternity in quotes as sarcasm.
Yeah, that is a crazy, man.
Yeah.
Imagine. So what are you gonna do at home?
Yeah, it's not a law. The Constitutional Court just passed it 2 days ago. Constitutional Court just passed it that men cannot do the same. While their wives are also going on leave, and after a
You're
new
going to
law,
be wiping the baby's bums.
you can go do that. I would like to hear from the men on the panel today.
Helping your wife wash the dishes.
I would like to hear from the men. All these men that must lead, men that must provide. I want to hear them. I want to hear all these men. All the men that must lead and provide. Please come tell us. Are you going to
You need a
take
break from
maternity
work.
leave?
That's crazy.
Are you gonna take maternity leave? Are you?
Imagine me going to work and saying, guys, I need to take maternity time off.
I'd like to hear.
My wife needs help wiping the baby's bums.
I need to bond with my child.
Yeah. I need to go and support my family.
For 4 months. I really want to hear. I want to hear what
that
people's
is
gonna feel.
crazy.
I want to hear people's opinion on this. Well, what's up, Leon? Leon, that's
Good
it.
evening,
I'm
Leon.
fine, thanks, man. Mr. Ancient, I'm thankful that you are up to date with what's going on in South Africa. I was told about this thing 2 days ago that now we can now take a maternity leave.
Imagine Leon filing an application and saying my wife needs help. I have to go.
And that time you've been bragging and shouting, I'm the man, I'm the
Yeah, and
man,
that
I'm
time
the
he's
man.
talking about wiping bums and washing
Yo,
dishes, yeah, and
I think
cleaning up after the child.
I think this is the time for men to just admit that you know what, equality and equity is here to stay. There's no two ways about it anymore. It's here to stay.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that we accept it, the better for us. All this, I am the man is this. We are not equal, Baba. Not in the eyes of the law now.
Next thing, when you're taking maternity leave, your wife will be asking you to make the bottle for the child.
You will, you will, you will. You will, because according to the law, according to
Yeah,
the judgment, you can either take it concurrently or you can take it one after the other. So your wife can take the first
yeah,
4 months and you can take the second 4 months. So if your wife takes the first 4 months and you are alone at home with the child, you're gonna do it. You're gonna have to breastfeed, not breastfeed. You're gonna have to breastfeed the child without breastfeeding the child.
yeah. So
But
what are you gonna do? You're going to paste the mother's face on your forehead so that the
You will
child
have
can
to
see you
make a
have a.
plan, Baba. You must be creative. For 4 months, you have enough time to plan.
When your
You must
child
be
is 14 years old, he's going to say that I once licked my father's boob.
creative.
so now,
That is crazy.
what kind of evidence will they need to justify that it's a pregnancy?
No, as long as as long as your child is, as long as your wife was pregnant and your wife gave birth or your partner or whatever it is, you are permitted. You can go.
They'll probably need a photo.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Your boss will need some kind of insurance or assurance
Yeah,
that
they'll
it's
probably need a
pregnant.
photo and before and after photo.
Well, that can also work
Imagine
though.
sending a before and after picture of your
I'll,
wife to
I'll,
your
I'll send I'll
boss.
send a picture of my neighbor. If my neighbor is pregnant, I'll tell them and I'm
Yeah.
tired. Let me just take a photo of you, yeah?
It'll do
Yo,
Mela.
Mr.
I'm
Ancient,
so
ima-
short-sighted. You're
imagine,
worried
imagine taking,
because do you know the
imagine taking
upside
12
of
months
having a
leave.
paternity leave that would require proof? It's that maybe the proof that your company would ask for is a DNA test, something that men have always complained about. And now it will be a requirement for women to finally take a DNA test because who's going to believe that you really impregnated Uso and so? Do you understand?
Leon,
So, like,
Leon,
Hmm?
imagine taking 12 months leave because I impregnated 4 women at the same time.
I mean, I'll see.
That's valid, bro. 12 months pay for free, Baba.
That's what I was asking now. That if I impregnate multiple women, what's going to happen? Will they only approve one leave or they'll approve all of them?
All of them.
All of them.
You need to bond with all the children, most. You must bond
Yeah,
with all
boy.
the kids, so they will approve
You're,
all of them.
you're going to pay me free money for 12 months, Bob.
Guys,
Google
let's
it too.
get
How are
working.
you?
Let's get working, guys. Let's impregnate.
Yeah, bro.
Well,
Let's get
Side
working.
of that, it's
I
that
am
you
not
finally
there.
cannot run away from the courts because should the company start requesting proof that you did impregnate 3 women, there's also proof that you actually do possess the DNA of these 3 women, and that's actually proof that you can be taken to court.
And
Finally,
it's also proof that they can charge you for maintenance.
that's what I'm saying. But okay,
Google, how are you? Google it too. Oh no,
Actually,
yeah.
I don't think we should be debating this. We should be celebrating this thing, guys.
Yeah,
For
bro.
once. Let's celebrate. No, not debate, something like that. No, no, let's celebrate this thing. Let's
Yeah,
celebrate that now we are recognized that when our
yeah,
wives are pregnant, we must stay at home because when we are at work, they constantly call us and they
yeah,
shout at us for no apparent reasons and they blame us that they are sitting at home pregnant and we are busy focusing on other women at work. And now I have to video call and take selfies all the time to prove that I'm alone. We need to
yeah.
celebrate this moment.
Take a photo with the baby to prove that you're at
Yeah, we need
home.
to celebrate, man. We need to celebrate.
Yeah, yeah. This is so dope.
I would really like to hear people's opinion on this anyway, one after the other. But let's
Yeah.
keep tapping, guys. Let's keep tapping. Let's
All
get the
right,
likes
let's
up. Let's
Oh
keep
yeah,
tallying.
yeah,
I,
10K, 10K.
I really want to hear, are these really wins? Is it wins for men, or the system is gradually emasculating men? Or because, come on, guys, there was a time where if you ever were told that this might happen, you said, no, I cannot take maternity leave. Oh, here you are. Here we are now. Here we are. So if it's a win, we want to know from men, and is feminism really taking over? We want to hear as well. Would like to hear what you all are thinking. You see, there's not much question on the board today. It's just around this whole thing of men apparently now winning because, yeah, it is well. It is well. So your boss cannot give you maternity leave. I'm using the word, but it's supposed to be paternity leave though. But as a man, if your wife gives birth, you can go to ask for 4 months and say, I cannot come to work for the next 4 months. My wife just gave birth. I want to bond with my child. And you go home, you can bond with your child for 4 months, wipe the ass, do everything that the wife would do. So
Mr.
now there's
Ancient,
not. Yes, ma'am.
can I ask my friend, when you write that fathers can now take maternity leave, are you not the one who's emasculating men who actually would take that leave, which is actually a parental leave? And if it's actually directed to the fathers, it's then paternity leave. But you wrote it as maternity leave, and I'm sure that it's probably banter. But at the same time, while it's banter, right, and it's just a joke, does it not at the same time emasculate the men that would actually go ahead with this? I'm just
No,
I'm
it
just
doesn't.
curious.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because before this law was passed, what we know, what was more popular was maternity leave. That's what was more popular. Read you in the comments say there was paternity leave. It's always been there, but what was more popular was maternity leave. That is it. So we know what maternity is. We know what paternity is. But when you are taking that leave for the sake of a newborn and taking care of a newborn, it's always been the women who would do that. The men will continue working. It's always been that. Now that the system has not changed it, has not said it. If I still say paternity leave, how do we understand the word in here? So, like I said earlier, you might say you admitted that it's banter. It may not be banter. I'm not just masculating men. It's maternity. That's what we know. So, if I say men cannot take maternity leave, I don't even to think twice to understand what we are talking about. I don't need to explain myself. If I'm not here on the live, if somebody comes and reads it, they understand exactly what the question is saying.
Okay.
So, I'm not demasculating men. Wendy, how are you? Wazai, how are you? Team Cleanship, how are you? Gugu, I said how are you earlier. I didn't hear your voice.
Guys, hi guys, I'm still here. How are you?
Okay,
Hi.
okay,
Sorry, it's
okay.
going to be noisy when I give my what do you call this rebuttal? Because I have my nieces and nephews with me.
Oh, you started
So
your
forgive
maternity
me.
leave already.
Auntie leave. Auntie
Okay,
leave.
your auntie leave. Okay, we need to go to
Are
church
you
for auntie leave.
practicing, my sister? You're
You're
practicing.
practicing. Start
I'm not
practicing.
practicing. I'm not
Is he
practicing.
there?
Yes.
I just love my sister's children. That's
Is
all.
he there with you? You must make sure he's also around. Let him know how to run around with kids. He must know how
Yeah.
to chase kids
Actually,
around.
hey, let me be an auntie. Okay, let me be a nice auntie and play with my nieces and nephews.
Okay, I hear you.
Oh.
I hope he's there to be an uncle too. Tim, how's it? Wendy, are you well?
Good, 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 Miss Ancient. How are you? How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you. I really would love a lot of men to come share with us, their opinions on this very issue. Because of the, because I know a lot of men are so, you might not agree, but they are so against feminism. Anything that has to do with they want to cut it down. But here we are. Gradually, the system of feminism is also now favoring you. Well, unless you don't believe this is a win for you, it's not favoring you. Are you going to accept this? Will you? I want to hear the men. Will you take maternity leave? Will you? Will you?
But it doesn't really make sense. Like, I don't know, like when we are making these laws, is it not like people have to say what they want and then it goes up there and then you sit down and make it a law? Because I bet majority of men see this as a joke. So
Okay.
if then they make a law, who are they
let,
making it for?
let me explain to you. Let
No,
me explain to you, Tim.
Mr.
So this is what happened, Tim. Né? This man had a child. His wife had a child, and so he went. to his boss to ask for excuse, like for leave to say he wants to be with his child. The boss refused because I mean it was not lawful at the time. So he then had to challenge the court to say, how can women take maternity leave and men don't? It is discriminatory against men, right? It was an individual. And then he approached two organizations. I can't remember. Approached two organizations. They then joined him and they went to court. The High Court ruled, in favor, and then he took it to Constitutional Court. Constitutional Court in South Africa has now ruled in favor to say no, the law has been discriminatory against men, right? This whole leave thingy. Now it is now a legal precedent, right? Anybody can go to court. However, it is not a law yet because after this, since Constitutional Court has passed it, it now needs to go to the Parliament for final enactment into law. And that is where the point you're bringing now comes to say people we have elected to represent us in parliament, will they vote in favor or not? But that is just a rubber stamping, because if the Constitutional Court has already decided on it, then I mean it's just gonna pass it. So it wasn't really an issue that was brought up in parliament and debated in parliament originally. Otherwise, what you're saying would have come up to say people would have had a say. There have been a form of public opinion, but in this case there was no public opinion because it was a court case that brought us to this point. Now the Constitutional Court, which is the highest court in the land of South Africa, has made a ruling on it and say men are now eligible to take at least 4 months leave, maternity leave or paternity leave, however you want to call it, so that they can bond with their children. In fact, you can take it concurrently or after the other. So while the very day your wife gives birth and your wife goes on the first day of her leave, you can also go on leave that day for 4 months. Or your wife can go for the first 4 months while you are working, and then after she goes back to work, now you can then take your own next 4 months and then take care of the child for the next 4 months while your wife is at work as well. And after that, whatever happens, happens. So that is what the Constitutional Court has decided now. So when it goes to the Parliament and it is now passed in the Parliament, what is it called? Is it labor law? I don't know. That will now be reviewed and be corrected. So, we didn't get public opinion on this matter, sir, unfortunately. But I don't think it's unfortunate.
I hear you. So I think my take is, I think that's where this whole thing of equality and everything that we always debate come to show us that somehow it's a good thing to say we want equality, but on real ground it will actually not make any sense. Because let's say the way you say that, it's actually, yes, men are disadvantaged, but to make it make sense now that at a workplace, now we're going to have Mr. Ancient going for 4 months because he has got a baby, and out is gonna go the next. Definitely, it just doesn't make sense. But we're gonna say yes because it's all about trying to be. It has to be equal. If women can take it, so we can take it also. But making sense, nah, it doesn't.
No, but on my side, I want to be completely honest, and I don't think that any woman would stand to debate. That is time for debating, but let's look on the bright side. At least now women will not strain themselves. Do you know how bad does it feel, emotionally depriving it is for you to take leave prior giving birth and also after giving birth, taking care of the child while the man works tirelessly. And we are the ones who are mostly strained, even when you're at work, as I mentioned before, that you're at work and you're worried about your wife and stuff like that. So at least there's more time for the couple to bond and to assist each other concerning the pregnancy. We don't have to debate this. That's why I said we don't really have to debate this thing. As men now, we have that opportunity to help out our spouses, our better halves when they are pregnant. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it's a good thing in that sense, but in the sense of what we always fight for, saying, yeah, we are men, we are providers and everything, in the sense of, does it make sense to say we just gonna have 3 months helping bonding with the wife, and while at work things are not going well because to balance these two, we might end up having company collapsing and family succeeding. So these two should always be like
I'm
balancing.
sorry. I'm sorry.
But
I'm
it
sorry
doesn't
to
work like that
interject you. I'm
because
sorry
the
to
men and the
interject you.
women may not be working at the same company. The man and the
Exactly.
woman
Does,
may
You're
be.
does,
one
doesn't
person. You are
doesn't
single
the
one
company doesn't
person.
the
Will
company
the
collapse when
company
the
fall
woman is
apart
also not there?
if the one person doesn't work? Like seriously, that doesn't make sense. And the fact
No,
that you're taking
But is it
paternity
okay for
leave.
us to listen to other people's submissions to completion? I'm just
Okay,
asking
sorry.
for a friend.
I heard Google say wow. Google, I read you say wow. What do you mean? Why wow? By the way, Kanya, how are you?
Okay. So I was just
The
surprised.
bonding word is crazy, man.
I was
What?
still listening to Leon's point and then he was interject. I wanted to hear where he was going with this, but okay. We'll let it
No,
land.
you can finish.
But to say that you'll be bonding is crazy, bruh, because you're not gonna be bonding, bruh. She's gonna be asking, she's gonna be telling you that we're going to take turns wiping the baby's bums. Now it's going to be your turn, and then it's gonna be her turn, and then that's how it's gonna work, bro.
But what's wrong with
That's how
that?
you're gonna
That
bond,
is part
man.
of bonding, though. What do you mean?
That's bonding though.
Like,
Like
hello, sir.
you
What do you
are
think you're doing with
literally
it?
helping raise a child.
You
And you're
think you're
saying that
shedding tears with a kid?
I think helping is a big word. I think we should be more direct and say you're literally taking responsibility of your child.
No,
You are helping.
Mr.
Helping.
Responsibility. A child is a
It's
responsibility
not
of the
fun.
parent, guys. Are we forgetting this?
In the same way,
It's
we
not,
say we help men when it comes to
Sebakalile,
providing.
you're taking responsibility, my
it's not
bro.
Is
fun.
your
It's
child
it's
not your
it's
responsibility?
it's
But
not
there's
fun
one
to
thing
wipe it.
Leon said that was a bit off for me. You said that men take more strain. How exactly? I
No,
need
no,
to
no.
understand that more.
Let me start with this one. It's not fun to wipe a baby's bum. I don't care how cute your baby can be, but as a guy, to
But
wipe your
it's fun
baby's
to
bum,
make babies,
not the
right?
easiest. Very great. I
You're
swear to God.
taking responsibility,
Oh my
dog.
God.
You're taking
The best thing in the
responsibility.
world.
they think it's fun for a woman to wipe a baby's wet, like wet, mushy bum too. Like, is it fun for them to? It's not fun, but we
Yeah, I
do it
think for
because
women
it's
it's good.
our child. It's not better. And the fact that you, as the father of said child, you are supposed to do it too. You're not supposed to find it fun. You're supposed to do it because now you know that this human being is depending on you. It
That
can't
is
just be a woman only.
responsibility. That is part of being responsible for a child. Saying that should the child mess themselves, you as the parent will take care of that because that child can't do it by themselves, right? So what happens when the parent gives birth via C-section and you in this very economy as a black man cannot afford even a nanny? You're expecting that woman who's just gotten out of the hospital to be the only one to take care of this child because it's her responsibility and somehow it's not yours. That's where the maths is not mathing for me.
No, don't worry. The man will take responsibility.
No, the thing is, Outie, the truth of the matter is sometimes we don't agree to disagree. The truth of the matter is majority of men, they don't want to do that. And they're gonna take the leave. And they're gonna be with you at the house and they're gonna be watching soccer. Which is what we say, it doesn't make sense because already they don't want to do it. And high
This
chances they are not going to do it. But the leave, they'll just take it.
this
So
is
it's just a waste.
what you're saying, team. Sorry to cut you off. It's what I wanted to say. What assurance does the employer
You're
have
answering
that
the
when
whole
you take
channel,
the
but now
leave?
you're not answering my question.
I'm going to answer you now. That's what I wanted to say. That what assurance does the employer have that when the man takes the leave, he will use the leave for paternity? And then coming back to you, Kanya, as I said, we bear more of the burden when our other halves are pregnant because financially we are worried. Okay, now my partner's not working, she's pregnant, she's at home, right? I'm concerned, will she keep the child or will something wrong happen to the child? And now I'm also worried. Mentally I'm strained. Now it's work, you understand? So it's not an easy thing for us. I don't know how women feel, but for
Crazy.
us it's definitely not
But it's
easy. Now
crazy
you're
to
running
assume that men take more strain
savings
than
and
women
stuff like
during
that.
pregnancy. It's
You are worried
crazy
about
to
those things.
assume that because we women tend to worry about the exact same things that you just mentioned. Plus, your whole body is changing. And plus, guys, we are operating on almost half our brains. I don't believe I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you are operating on half your brain with all the stress that's coming through and knowing that whatever you feel, this little human feels it too. And you have to make sure that this person is gonna make it, and you got like you are living in fear every day of your life to keep this person alive. So there's no way a man will take strain more than a woman. Can we, like, I know we like to compete and stuff, but when it comes to pregnancy and postpartum, please sit it out, guys. Like, keep your stress as your financial stress fine, but women also stress about finances too. All of that you mentioned,
On
there's
top
nothing
of that,
special to men.
there is no proof that black men in this very country, South African black men, are sole providers of homes. You guys provide
Exactly.
alongside with your partners. So, what is this
Exactly.
financial strain that you are worried about? Because as
I
the
take
woman is on
maternity
leave,
leave, I
she's
get
also
paid,
being
full
paid.
paid. So what are you talking about,
She's also
Napai?
being paid.
You take
And while
financial
she's being
strain.
paid, you're not expecting her to finally chow her money because, oh my God, you just had a child and you get to wipe the bum. You expect her to still contribute the same way in which she was. So,
Exactly.
what is this thing of being worried about providing when you've never provided by yourselves in your homes or in your families ever?
If
That's what I
if
was
it's the
trying to
if
understand.
if it's the first child, definitely you have to understand that now there will be other expenditures, right? And if it's the second child, there will be other expenditures that come with that. So that's what I'm talking
So we
about.
as
But
women
if the
don't feel
women
the
are on
stress.
paid leave, won't the men be on paid leave as well? This is crazy to me. And if you are on paid
You,
leave, what is this worry about who's going to provide?
you
Because
know,
your leave is paid for.
Miss
I
Gina,
was reading
understand
through
understand
that
what I'm
too.
saying. There's an extra member now in the house. That's what I'm talking about.
Now I'm
Yes,
stressed
but
about
even
this
if
extra
there
man.
is an extra member, if you work 18 hours when you used to work for 16, you're not going to be paid more. You're still going to be paid that 300 that you were being paid. And when you are taking this leave, you are still going to be paid this 300 that you have always been paid. What is this? Guys, I'm so
It's
confused.
it's it's the it's the fear of the unknown, okay? You are hallucinating and thinking of all these things. What if this, what if that? What if this, what if that? And you are just worried, okay? That's how it is. Even I
So you
myself, I
give
went through
yourself
that. I was worried,
self-proclaimed
but now I'm
trauma.
fine.
So you give yourself self-proclaimed trauma for the what ifs of a
I mean,
financial
like, I'm
stability
sorry, I refuse to
instead
Yes,
take
of
your
it's what
focusing on your
women
submission.
do.
kid.
Exactly. It's
Leon,
what women do, as Kanya said.
I refuse to take your submission because there's nothing special about men taking
But
strain
Kanya,
about
you were here
pregnancy.
saying that they are helping you and that it's not their responsibility.
No, hear me out. No, I don't say it's not their responsibility, but I'm saying to a certain degree, it is help because, for example,
How
now
is
personally,
your man who made a child with you
are you gonna
helping
allow
you?
me to say why?
Yeah, Mama, I'm just lost. I'm just confused. Sorry.
That's why I'm trying to find you. I need. Yes, allow me to finish. I would consider it as help because in the country that we live in, guys, let's be honest, any little help that a woman gets, even if it's from the person who should be giving this, who is responsible for this, is still a thing, an underrated blessing that we don't really talk about because let's be honest, men are absent when it comes to raising their kids. And also, as a woman, I think when you're going through postpartum, and you've just given birth to this little soul and all of that, it's hard to trust the next person, even if it's your partner. It's not easy to trust them, but for them to persist and work around your mood swings, that is a lot of help. Because pregnancy,
Men are not absent.
I'm not
Men
done. No, there's too many absent men for you to say that. So,
yeah, men are kicked out and chased away by women.
I
Wow.
Yo, you're gonna make me
You've
swear. You're
outed
gonna
my
make me swear
reality.
at you right now. Else, please don't, because now you're gonna make me swear at you. But what I'm saying is, for a man to be able to navigate around your mood swings and all of that, that is a great help because in the country that we live in, men just throw in the towel and they think, okay, it's okay. I mean, here you just heard Outie now. He just said that men, you get kicked away by men. So showing you how fickle the hearts of the men in South Africa are. I don't know about other places, but in South Africa, clearly, the men are, are really
The,
princesses. That's why I
the
refer
truth
to
is
it as help. Because
truth is
I mean,
that men
it's
want to be
any little
parents,
bit of
men want to be
external
present.
assistance is some kind of help. Because
But do
hey,
you know what the crazy thing is, Kanya? That it's the man that utilized his right in this democratic world or country that we live in to challenge the court to say men must also take paternal leave. I think that man realizes that it's not only his partner who bears the responsibility of raising and taking care and bathing and feeding and napping this child. It's as much as his, a present father, I would like to think. It wasn't a woman who said enough is enough. It wasn't a feminist who said enough is enough. It was a man who challenged the court, utilized the democracy that we were given in 1994, and said, you know what? I want to bear that
now
responsibility.
that's a
So
man that
I'm
understands that
confused
it's their
as to how did
responsibility.
we suddenly see two people who had a child, one person being the one to bear responsibility, and the other one being seen as just someone who helps.
Because that's what they do. Because again,
Guys, the truth of the matter is that men
not
want to be
but
present in their children's lives. Men want to love
not
their
all
children the
men.
best way
Out
they
if
can.
men
Men
wanted
want
to
to
be
raise them.
present, they would be
But
there.
because of the circumstances around the
Yeah, so
women, they are most of the time denied access and sometimes even used because of the situation at hand.
that is such
Men are taken advantage of in
jealousy.
many ways, and we need to acknowledge that it is not just men who are absent and also women who are absent. But the truth that we need to acknowledge the most is that it's not all men who always want to be, or most men who want to be absent. It's just a few bunch. But the real truth is that many men want to be present. They want to be there for their kids.
And here's
But
the
they're taken
chance, our dear Shab.
advantage of
Here's the
and
chance,
being
our dear
used.
Shab.
And most
You are
You know what?
totally
importantly,
Out
not
they
in
are
the
being
Josephine,
denied
democratic
what you're
access
saying is
presidency,
by
so you
bullshit.
can
women
be
Because
who
present
want
fathers.
to take
What are you
selfish reasons
fighting
for
for?
themselves. So we need to understand as a nation that men, South African men especially,
Yeah.
take the greatest pleasure in raising their children, but because of the mother of the child, they never get that opportunity.
Mina
Oh,
nthuswa
poor
ikusula umuntu
leaders,
okakile
our
yile
poor
nifuna
men,
ukuba
like.
present anisiyekeni hayi suka.
Hey, I wipe my baby's bum now. I wipe her bum,
Yes.
okay?
A
But
South
honestly,
African man is a
this
responsible
is an
man, but because of the
opportunity. This is
woman,
an opportunity. Yeah, carry on, man.
I'm saying a South African man is a responsible man, but because of the woman, because of her selfish acts and her heartless
Oh,
acts,
Why?
the
outie.
man ends up being emasculated and being denied the one thing that he cares about the most, his heir. So we need to understand as a
Can I
nation
say
and
something
take a
after Outie,
perspective.
please?
We need to understand as a nation and take a perspective that says that, dear men, no matter how much you want to be present and be there for your child, unfortunately, even though you have no control, there must be some sort of law that prohibits the woman from doing that. Because if we see the cases of men today, if we
There
see how
is
men
a
are losing
law.
today,
It's
if we
called
see
But
how
then
men
it's
are
called it's
crying
called
today,
a
Like
they are
I
family
was
court,
crying
trying to
where you
get
because
it.
can
a
Like
go
I
and
woman
hold
just
has
feel
done
someone
like
something
accountable
massive to
and
them. A
actually
man has
want to take
denied
Outie.
them
custody of
the
your
one
own
thing that they
child.
care about. So we cannot stand
what?
here and blame men and say most men are not responsible. Most men are responsible. Most men are present. Most men are loving. Most men
Ooh,
actually care about
child.
the child. But because of the woman, they are being denied that opportunity. Women are the frustration.
Why
Women
don't
are
you
the
go
one
to
taking
court then
advantage
and
of
fight
men.
for
Women
custody,
are
Outie?
making selfish decisions because of
Out,
their children. Women
Outisha,
are not being considerate of the child,
Outisha,
but doing all this to punish the father. So let us understand
Outisha.
What?
that women are not the
Why are you
Minority.
not
women are
going to
not the
court,
Please,
targets.
sir?
please
They're not
say
the victors.
minority.
What they are instead, they are the villain, denying the
Oh,
child
Sana, he
the
wrote a book.
Please say
opportunity to grow
minority.
up with a present father.
Please
That's what they're
state
What?
doing.
minority. You can't say woman. You
Why
are
do you
your
keep on?
statement, Leon. Leon, can I just quickly
Okay.
say something quickly?
But I asked to speak
Outisha.
long
Oh,
ago.
sorry,
Sorry.
Miss
But I
Kanye.
asked
Let
to
me
speak.
shush.
But
Let me
Kanya,
shush.
Outie,
Kanya.
what you're saying
Hello,
does not
Kanya.
make
Sorry,
sense
sorry.
at
Hi,
all.
guys. Sorry, guys. Kanya, I know you want to speak, but
Ah,
I'm
ah.
leaving I'm handing the baton over to you right now. I'm handing the baton over to you until you're not here anymore. So yes, finish your submission and let the life roll.
Okay,
Please.
but I won't be objective tonight, okay?
No, no, no.
But
Yeah,
Outie, what
you
So
don't
you're
have to be
saying
sorry,
right
objective.
now,
No,
Once
listen.
I
I'm just
wanted to
saying.
say
I'm
something
you
just
when
are
saying.
you
You need to help
you
the
are
panel. Just let the panel go round. But you are in charge. I mean, you can make your submission. You can hold your opinion very firmly on this very topic we're having now. As a matter of fact, I want everybody to really express themselves on this topic because you're Aisha. So
no,
carry
no,
on.
no. Mina personally, Outie, I will tell you now that you are spewing a lot of BS right now, respectfully so. Because there is no way you are gonna tell me that women are the sole reason why men are not stepping up, when there's actually the law that a man can use. They can fight for custody for their children, they can do all of that, and you just want to act like a victim and sit there and act like it's a woman.
Men are the victim, Kanya.
I'm
Men are
not
the
done.
victim.
I'm not done. I'm not done. We let you finish.
Okay, my
When
apologies.
as a man, if you truly are the leader, the greatness that you claim you are, you should be able to stand up for your kid. That's part of parenthood. It's your
I
responsibility
try, but the
to
law
make
stands on your
sure
side.
there's
The
no
law always stands
trying.
with
I'm
you.
not done.
The law
There's
is
no
standing with you,
trying. You are
Kanya.
not
I
trying.
tried my best,
No,
but
there's
the
no
law
best
is
that
always
you
standing
tried. The
with you.
best
That's
is
why I'm
going through
proud.
the law, going through the courts of the law, and you're not. And you
Yes,
probably 90% of men who cry about women not wanting them to say to
yes.
see
And
their
let's not
kids have
forget the
not
lies
gone
that you
through the
tell on
courts.
that court
They have
case.
not. I'm not done. Are you gonna allow me to talk, or must I shut up?
Okay, let me be calm. Let me be calm.
No, I'm asking. Must I shut up, or are you gonna allow me to talk?
No, you can't ask me such. Kanya, continue.
Okay. There are laws that actually protect your fatherhood rights, but men choose not to go that route. They choose to sit at home and cry victim and cry about how the wife and the woman, the baby mama, or whatever term you choose to use, the mother of the child refuses the rights of the child and all of that. But you've never actually tried anything outside of harassing this woman to actually see your child. You've never, maybe a lot of the time when women choose to keep their children away from men, it's because they've seen inconsistent behaviors and they do not want their children to be affected by your inconsistency. When are you going to come and see your child once in 6 months? Why? Rather don't see them at all.
Why
And
do I
you
need to
can fight
harass
for
you?
custody
Why
as
do
a
I need to
man.
go through court? Why do I need to fight to see my child? Why can't you as a woman
It's
look
not
at
about
that
you.
and
It's not
understand
about you. It's
that a
about
child
your
needs
You
both
child.
the
have your
parents
child
and
in
the
your
father
life.
should
Christine,
always
What
be
is
access?
wrong
Christina,
with your
Why do we
Christina,
have to go
understanding?
through all
Christina,
these
Christina,
channels
can I
to
please
fight
speak?
to see our child?
Was
Why
it
do we have to fight to see our
Potato's
child?
been
Out,
Why
okay?
can't you as a
Potato,
out here,
mother
sharp.
be
Out here, sharp.
selfless and why
Out here,
can't
sharp.
you as a mother
Can I
be
please
selfless?
speak?
Potato has been trying to speak. Can we allow her?
Righty. Atia Shapane, I do
Okay.
understand your point of view and where you're coming from, wholeheartedly and respectfully. The fact that you use the plural meaning of women instead of saying a minority of women, and now you are literally
Minority, it's a
subjugating it
majority.
to a majority of women. Wait, Atia Shap, is the issue here. You are basically saying all women are literally the essence of what evil is towards a man with when they have children. That is your statement towards it. That they lie, that they're conniving, that they use. That's the statement you're saying. You're saying women, not a minority of women, because there is the minority of women, some of them are evil. I do agree with you. Some of them they do lie. I do agree with you on that statement. Kanya, also the law is not 100%, all right? It has a bias. It is also biased to the minority of men who do want to step up, who have been trying to get their children from the minority of women that are also evil too. We must also agree to that statement too. But I don't like out here sub saying women, claiming that all women are evil, claiming that all women will lie,
I also
claiming
don't
that all
like it when
women
you
will
say
hold.
men. I also don't like
I
it when
didn't
you
say
say men.
men. I didn't say men. I didn't say a whole statement of
Yes,
men.
Kanya
can
did.
I ask you, Mama? So what if all women are conniving? So what? What about a woman being conniving and evil? Say all of us are. I'd say even me, I'm one of them. I'm an evil one. I'm a whatnot. Ne? So what? What is my evilness stopping you from going to the court and fighting for your child's custody?
Why should I fight for my child? Why do I have to go
There
to
we go.
court?
The
Why
same
can't
truth
you just be a
can play
selfless
on us.
mother and say
That's
my
the
child
baby
needs
mama
their
you chose.
father and the father
That's
must be
the
there?
baby mama
Why
you
do we have to go
chose.
to court? The
That
fact
is
that we even have to go to court just
because you
shows us how
chose
much
that
of a
baby
selfish
mama.
woman
You are
you
going to
are.
have to go
It
through
just
those
shows us of
lengths.
how much you are a selfish woman you are. It just shows us of how much you're
What
disadvantaged you
if
are.
I'm
Why do we
selfish?
have to
Go
But
go
to
through
who
such
court.
told this
channels?
Go
selfish
to
As a
woman to
court.
man,
be your
you
baby
need to look at
mama?
that. As a woman who's a selfless person,
You
you need to look at
chose
that and
this
say, you know what,
selfish
my
baby
child deserves
mama
to have their
yourself,
father,
right?
and their father should be there. The fact that we even have to
No,
go to court should be abandoned, man. Why do we even have to go
I
through a
don't even see
situation where
how that
we
has
need a
anything to do with
mediator?
the topic. You
That
are
just
standing in
shows
the
you
way
that
of people who
that
actually want
just
to
shows us how
contribute
evil you are.
to
It
the
just shows us how
maternity
Guys,
selfish you
Okay,
are.
initiative.
guys.
The
Okay,
fact that we
guys.
have to
guys,
take you to
Come
court.
back. Hello,
guys,
hello. Hello,
Why do I
hello,
have to go to court to see my
hello,
children?
Outie. Do I have
Why
to
can't you?
do Outie? Please,
Yo, you don't have
please,
to mute me,
order,
Kanya.
Shame, it
order,
must be
order.
personal, eh?
Do I please now? Let's get back to topic, right? Let's get back because now it's getting heated. Leon, please make your submission. No one rebuttals Leon, and then we are getting back onto topic.
Can't say we have to go to court. That's evil, bro.
Outie, Sesi Ival. Because this one,
Okay.
that point of view, Shem, I don't wanna lie to you, it's gonna get us like we are never gonna be at harmony. With that point of view, never. But let's continue. Leon?
No, but guys, look, let's be honest, okay? Being granted the permission as a male to take a paternity or maternity leave, that's a privilege for us to be able to be there. You know, it's the most painful thing when you get a call and they tell you that your child kicked. And all you have, the only thing that you can do is to look through the phone, and you know you are missing out on so many precious moments. You need to assist your wife or your girlfriend when she's pregnant. Make food for her in the morning. Make sure that the bed is done. Make sure that she can. It was painful for me when I had my first child. I was there for 3 days for my girlfriend. Okay, I bathed her, but I knew that after those 3 days, 6 or 7 days, I'm not there for her. I can't do anything for her. And she's struggling. You understand? So this is a privilege. I don't feel that honestly we have to debate this thing.
Oh, wow, your stance changed pretty quickly, Mr. Leon.
Okay, wait. If we are going to keep on focusing that women are evil or whatnot, I'll keep on telling you that is past trauma. It is so unfortunate that a woman would have a relationship with a man and a child with a man and then end up fighting that man, and now this man has to go to court for the child. No. People have to heal from their traumas. If you have a child with someone, then you need to understand that that on its own binds you and the father of the child for you to become better parents. So for me, this is a privilege. Okay, I am happy. I'm going to have my second child. I'm going to apply for this paternity leave, and I will be there for my girlfriend or whatnot. These things of angas, guys, as I'm even running out of English. I don't know what to say. I am happy, guys. I'm going to have a second child.
To bring the
Bye.
things across, Bua, we are
Bye.
here.
Bye.
We will translate for you. Oh, how the tables have quickly turned out here, Sharp. Wasn't this guy siding with you not so long ago? See who's sharp now?
Gosh, I felt
Crazy.
betrayed. I felt betrayed, bro. I felt betrayed.
No, I'm not. What
He
I
wasn't
said,
siding.
what
Leon
I
wasn't
said,
siding.
what
Has
I said when this panel started, before you guys came, I said we are supposed to be celebrating because as men, now we will be there when our girlfriends or wives are pregnant. But
That's
the
correct.
one thing that I think we
But
should
did
be
you hear what you're
questioning
saying
is
now, bro?
the
That's
Did you hear
correct.
what you're
That's
saying
what
now?
you said
the
earlier. It
assurance.
was
Listen,
citizenship that
stop
took
trying
her
to
out to
poke
side.
holes at his submission before
listen.
he's done.
What assurance do we have that men will use this maternity or paternity leave for pregnancy? These are the things that we need to be talking about. And someone can say, okay, if maybe in a workplace 10 men take maternity leave, then the workload will be more and there will be less staff. These are the things that we need to be talking about. Not men being evil and women being evil. Those are people who couldn't manage their courtship. It has nothing to do with this thing. Thank you.
Siabonga.
Oh, thank you, Leon, for bringing order. Now we are talking about couples who are in harmony. You who decided to make your child however you made
Oh
them,
man, and
please,
also please
now
check
that's the
into
child.
the government facilities for therapy. It's actually free.
All
Now,
right. Can
what's
I
your
make my
view?
submission?
I was actually gonna ask for a lady's opinion for a bit. Sorry, Team Class. Can I come to you after hearing a lady's opinion? I went. Oh,
Goku hasn't said anything, Mama, and Wazai has said less than me.
thank you. That's why I was gonna ask that. Can I have a lady's view now? Can I have Gukuletu come in?
Oh, hi guys, Ninjan.
Lisa Pilunjansis.
Okay. Okay, my stance is I think Mina having fathers taking maternity leave, it's actually fruitful, not for just women or men, but for the sake of the child because it can be subjective. There's a lot of things that women go through after giving birth. And if you really care about your child's well being present after the woman who gave birth to your child is very vital for you to being there. But because we are in a country where most of the time male species believe in tradition ukuthi there's a certain place for umuntu wesifazane, so therefore they are not having to be primary caregivers to their child. Most men don't really contribute into their children's lives except being providers, they think. So I think it's very vital ukuthi when they come in and take maternity leave, they also learn the importance of seeing your woman in that state, caring for your child in that state. Know that you're not doing a favor for me just because you're helping change the baby's diapers. You're also doing that because now you're taking care of your child. You're not doing anyone a favor. This is very much important to go to now. Be present in your child's life. So it shouldn't matter uguti who's there, who's not. But when you are there, you also now maturing into seeing, being in the shoes of another person, seeing what women go through and having to know how to take care of your child so that whenever maso hamba, like going to your kids' sports, helping them teach, be present because that's why most women manje they are not giving you a chance to have maybe, let's say just for argument's sake, a chance with your child, because most men, you are inconsistent. You want to parent your kids makfuna wen, and you need to know what this is not a choice. You have to be there. You've made the baby. You do not have to have a day off. Most men, I believe with my experience, that they want to parent, they want to babysit their kids. How is that going to be fair? You cannot babysit your kids. Whenever I have to go somewhere, sekwamele ngikucele or ngikuncenge, can you please take care of Zuvani? But this is our child. We both have to contribute into that child's life in order for them to have a better future. Yeah, that's it,
I
guys.
absolutely disagree with you, Bugu. And you are spreading false information about men, and that's so hurtful to me as a man. Because as you're sitting here, you're telling us about how men are not present. Men are 100% present in their children. Most men are present. Most men are responsible. Most men take care of their children. Their responsibility does not negate to just wiping bums, but it negates to actually more than that. If you look at what men do for children, you will see that exactly why a child needs a father. So to come here and say that most men don't do this, or most men don't do that, or most men are not even present, that is an absolutely false allegation. Most men are present, most men want to be there for their children, and most men do whatever it takes for their children. If you put those children inside those men's midst, if you put them inside their presence, you will see exactly how much they care. But because of your selfish acts, you don't even dare to think that a child might need their father. So to stand here and say that most men
Confused. Are we being rage baited,
most
Kanya?
men are there for their children, and
Yeah,
most men
Asisha, calm
do
down,
whatever
calm
it
down.
takes for their child.
Are we
No.
being rage
At
baited?
least she's
to
saying
sit
most.
here,
You got a
At
very
least she's
most
saying
men,
most.
majority of men are present
At
fathers, and they are
least she's
very, very
saying most
loving and
instead
caring.
of saying
They may
all
not be
men.
wiping bums. They may not be wiping bums, but they are
Wow,
actually doing their
Atisha, calm
best for their
down.
child, and they're going to raise their children to become the best. So don't ever say men are not present. Most men are present.
No, you misinterpreted her. You misinterpreted her, and then all of a sudden now you're telling her she must say no. She must say majority when she's saying most men instead of saying all men are useless. She's not saying all men are useless. She's just saying majority, or she's saying
Majority,
most of it.
that's
She's saying
exactly what
Why are
I'm
most.
you
saying.
correcting
She's
this?
saying
Majority of men
most.
are not
Stood here
She
useless.
said
and said all
most.
women.
Majority of men are not
And
useless.
you out here sharp way now.
Yes, they're not
You.
useless. Majority
I'm
of
gonna
men.
put your
Majority of men
words.
are
I'm gonna
present.
put your words
Majority of
back.
men are
You
responsible.
said all women. You said women.
Yes.
Women. The
Majority
entirety
of
of
men are
women.
not useless. They are responsible. They are present and willing to do whatever it
Well,
takes
okay,
to
thank you
protect
so
and
much for
provide for
your
their child.
opinion of thinking that majority men are not useless. Thank you so much for your opinion. Guguletu can have her opinion of most men. I can have
Google's
my
opinion
opinion of
is
majority
misleading and
men. And
misinformation.
even if it's
Yes,
misleading
Google's
and
opinion is
misinformation, it's
misleading
her
and it's
opinion.
misinformation.
Like
To
your
spread men and debash men like that is absolutely not
Oh, so you
acceptable.
can bash
As a man,
women.
I
So
am
you
hurt by
can
your
bash
opinion,
no
Gugu.
outie
Yes,
sharp.
I am
You
hurt
can
by your
bash all
opinion,
women.
Gugu. Because
You
as
can
a
bash
man, as
all
a woman, you
entirety
should be
of women
understand.
for what?
You should be
For what?
considerate.
For who?
Yes, you
So,
should. You
so
should have
we
been
we must
considering
be
Are
the
you
presence
considerate.
of a
confused by the
father.
digit
But
on your
instead, you're looking
profile
at
right
men at
now?
a
That
negative light.
101. Is it the thing that's fooling you? Because you're
Yes.
talking so much, like it's like you're being encouraged by
Oh
that
my
number,
gosh.
and you think that you're right somehow. I'm confused. You
No,
must think
fam, you're
that you're
being
right.
rage
Men
baited.
are
This is
loving,
this
men
is
are
rage
caring,
bait because
men
he
are
just
responsible.
men are
So
loving,
to
men are
sit here and say
caring,
men are
but
not,
women are
nah,
all
bro.
evil.
Nah, bro, don't
I've got
ever.
one question.
Men are the
Women are
most
all
responsible
evil.
people in the
I've
world.
got one
Men love
question
their
for
kids
Alti.
and they do whatever it takes. Don't
Let me
ever
keep
say to a
quiet. Let
man
me
that
keep
men are
Best
quiet.
not
not
to laugh
People is
responsible.
not
intelligence.
gonna
Men are
Just
help.
brace
misleading.
I have
yourself.
a
That is
question for you.
misinformation.
Okay, Alti Siyakuzwa ne. Have you ever dated a
Yeah,
man before? Have you had to deal with a man before?
answering that question is an insult in
That's
itself.
such a
No,
good
I'm asking
question.
because you are so sure that men are loving and men are caring as if you've experienced them personally, whereas you're not the one that has to deal with them, and
I
yet
am
here
a
you
man
are
myself.
advocating for
I
Yeah.
them.
am a man myself.
Okay.
You are
I am
not
a
the
man
one.
And it
myself.
is Pride Month, by the way.
I am a man myself.
Hi, Bojida.
Men are responsible. There's no men out here who don't do whatever it takes to protect their kids. They always do.
Yeah, my daughter. I clearly you've been a man before because or you've
Hey,
been with
maybe
a
I'm
he
so
man
has.
before
sorry,
because the
Altia
way
Sharp.
you
And
are
I'm
I,
so sorry.
and
advocating
I,
What
for
what
Althea
them.
what
Sharp, you
no,
grew
can
up
I
with
ask a
your father,
question?
ne?
Guys, can I ask a question? Just one question, only one. What about
Axe,
all the
axe.
men who have sexually dotted their children? What about all the men whom I'm in high places and take advantage of their power, right? What about all the men who are literally on TV's documentary shows that show that they have been abusive to their partners? Are you saying all men, like all women, are evil? Are all men good? Are you also including those ones in documentaries? Are you including predators? Are you including abusers? Are you including all men? Are you doing that? Because you said all women are evil, right?
That's very
So it's all those
so
men
yes,
good too,
potato, you're
Archbishop?
right.
And he seems to be the perfect guy to answer the question since he's so
No,
well-centered.
I'm using literally his words. And he said all women are evil, right? And all
I
men
get it
are
when you
good.
are male-centered,
I'm
Althea
using his
Sharp. You're the
words.
perfect guy to answer the question.
So are all those men correct, or what are they? Are they animals? Do they not have the genitalia that say they are men too? What's the difference? And I'm not saying all women are like ngwele angels and saints. No, 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 no. I'm never saying that. I never stated it. I'm just using his words against him. What
No,
are
no,
those
you know
then?
what? We get you. You know what? Now I get where you're going with this very, very much because I feel like Alti is just choosing to be blind to all of
Are
this
you going
stuff,
to allow me to answer?
and he's choosing to
And
to
he's
to.
I
swaying
want
the
to
topic.
Miss Kanye, Miss Gina, let him answer. I want him to answer this
He's
question that I have
swaying the
because all women
topic,
are evil
and
and
we are allowing him. It's such a waste of time for other people who came here specifically for this topic. He's swaying the conversation, guys. He's swaying it on purpose.
Okay, Alti, if you say the conversation one more time, then I will have to excuse you from the panel. Can we please stay on topic?
But
Because
Kanya, if you're going to do that, you need to be equal in what you're doing and do it to the women as well.
anybody who sways off topic, but the women haven't had their first strike. Gunini.
Yeah, so you can't say
Now,
me, say
don't talk
everyone
about
because
the
we need to
women when
exercise
it's you who's
equality.
been doing
You
this.
can't
It's
just
you
put
that's
the
been
focus
doing
on
this.
me.
It's you that's been doing it.
Yeah,
Women,
but
though,
you must say everyone. You must
I'm
exercise
going to
equality,
direct it
both
at
men and
you
women.
because you're the one that's
So the
been doing this.
conversation
No
will
one
be
else.
dropped.
It's you. It's you. If you don't want to hear it, it's not my problem. Now,
Kanya, you're being
um,
biased, bro.
I really
You're
don't
being
care.
biased, bro.
I really don't care. Leon,
Yes, you're being
you've
biased, bro,
had your hand
because you
up.
need to extend equality. You see,
Can
this is
we allow
exactly what
other
I'm talking
panelists?
about,
Can we allow other panelists to speak?
Kanya, I've
Yeah,
asked
I'm
to
supposed to
speak.
answer
You
a
said
question,
you'd give me
remember?
Miss
after
Kanya,
Google.
wait. I want him to answer me just that question. Only
I've
that
seen us
question. That's it.
waiting. Potato, can we allow Leon to speak now? Because there's been a back and forth between Eugenia and Auti now. Other people also have what you call
You
this
see, pretty
opinions.
privilege working again. Women are being exercised, given
Eh,
an
Baba,
advantage over
Aw, at
men.
least he said
Once
we're
Leon,
again,
working.
do you
this is
want
exactly
to
what we're talking about.
now?
Guys,
Leon,
I still believe that we are not focusing on the topic. Uh, we are actually expressing our past trauma experiences. We are not talking about men and women being evil here. We are talking about men taking maternity leave. And the question is, are these really wins for men or the system is gradually demasculating men? Is feminism taking over the world now? We are not talking about that. We are talking about evil men and evil women. We are out of topic, guys. Let's go back to the topic. Let us stop throwing spears at each other, discriminating men and women. Because at the end of the day, men and women have kids. And this is what we're supposed to be talking about: paternity and maternity leave for men. That's it. Not these things that we are talking about here.
All right. Can I please submit? All right. So my submission is I think this is a good thing to celebrate if it's used in a right way. So from what Gugu has actually said, that majority or some of men are not present in the context of primary caregiving. And if we are to just use as an example that some of those men are actually probably not even employed, they are even available every day 24/7. But when it comes to giving primary care, they just feel like they are not supposed to. So I think majority of men has got that thinking that primary care is more for mummies, for mothers and everything like that. So if they then take the paternity leave and then they come and actually annoy the wife who is actually doing everything, and now the man comes there, sit and watch soccer and watch movies, because already the primary caregiving, they feel like it's they have to be asked, can you babysit, can you hold the baby, I want to go to the shops. So with that mindset, then it seems as if we just giving them extra hours and extra days to just sit and do nothing. If we use this as a good thing as it is, on everything it starts as a good thing, but we then abuse it. If we use it as to help the mother, we give the primary care together, we relieve the labor from the wife, it's a very good thing. Are we going to do that? Can we be encouraged to do that so that it will be a good thing, it will be a win-win? The wife will be actually having less to do because I'm there covering this side, and she can also rest, sleep, stuff like that. But the worry is with the mindset that we have seen, they just gonna take the leave and do other things. That's my thinking.
Yeah, it's very true, actually, what you're saying, Team Class, because unfortunately, in as much as we want to act like there's so many great men out there, there's also quite a huge number of men that won't really grasp or understand
That is a
what
lie.
the
That is a
concept
lie.
of
You
sure.
are lying. Huge number. Lies.
As I was saying, right? There's a huge number of men that don't take into account how the gravity of this. And okay, now I'm sorry, I just lost my chain of thought for a second there, but yeah, thank you for your submission. The time, will you please? The time, how are you? The time.
Sorry, madam. I'm still dishing. I will be back.
Okay, can we take this time to welcome Tebogo to the panel?
Yeah, madam. I am still dishing. I will be back.
Okay, thank you, Tebogo.
Hi guys. Hi Kanya. Thank you for bringing me up. I just had a few words on the topic. I
Please share, sir. Please share.
found it very interesting. Also a few words on the conversation we're having, but I don't want to sway the topic, so I'll leave that until after. I think it's a there's nothing demasculating about fathering your own kids. I think that's a silly notion to even start with. Like to think that a man being present in caregiving for their child is somehow in any way demasculating is so silly. The thought process, I do not understand how we arrive at that juncture. So that's one. I think this is a great thing. This is an absolutely great thing. We need men. We need men in like no one. It takes a village, as they say, to raise babies. And with this modern lifestyle that we live in these apartments, in these flats, in these houses, away from family, away from support structure, away from everyone and anything, everyone who should be helping us, who should be helping in caregiving. And for some people, high KZN, but her and her husband, but Badula, Banna, Pretoria, Johannesburg, Kurulane, whatever, and they have a child. The father is back at work after 2 days. The mother is alone there. That's how things like postpartum develop. So I think having someone there, even if just not being alone, I think it's important, not just for the child, but for the mother as well. And a healthy mother, a healthy primary caregiving mother is also a healthy child. So I think this is great news. I think this is fantastic news. There's something that was said before I just wrap up my submission. That was my main point. But there's something that was said that maybe it made me a bit uncomfortable about about when people were saying hore, when I think I don't know how it started, but our T was saying hore, there are instances where men are denied access to their child. And then the immediate rebuttal was, why don't you fight? Why don't you go to court? And that's very reminiscent of when I hear, I don't know if I can say the word, when I hear abusers speak on on victims. When someone says, this guy physically abused me, the first response is, why don't I think we should be very careful with the presidents are setting in the language we use. This is not a topic to one up each other. If there are legitimate cases where people are being denied access to their children, your first response is, why don't you go to court? Why don't you go to court? This is what abusers also say when they are being outed and say, why don't you go to the police? We know that abusers do that because they know that nothing's going to happen. They know that the police are incompetent and the power structure is in their favor. So
When you're done, Butebucho, can I just come in there, especially on what you said? Because
Peter, if you want to interject on somebody's submission, please raise your hand in the comment section, okay? Or say so in the comment section, because it can be disruptive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think it's abusers do that because they know that if this person goes to police, most likely this case is not going to go anywhere. And I get those same sentiments and vibes when people say, I'm having trouble seeing my child. The mother of my child is denying me access, and the first response is, go to court, go to court. What I hear is someone who knows that nothing's going to happen. Nothing. There's a precedence of guys going to court and giving up along the way, not getting the help they really need. It's a costly process. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Tebogo. Thank you. On that issue of going to court, it's not that we are victim blaming or what, right? But in the same way as when somebody is being abused, the first way you can assist them is by advising them to go to that very law and seek assistance in any matter where the law can actually be on your side. We advise you. So it's not victimizing you, it's getting you to take a stand as a man. And if you fail in that route, you can at least say you tried. In the future, you can show your child that, listen, I fought for you. I went to the ends of the earth for you, but still I got no justice. at least that child will have that to hold on to, not just the father coming home saying, your mother didn't want me to see you. That doesn't make sense to a person that's going through abandonment issues and feeling. They need to know that you somehow fought for them in one way or the other. A lot of the times when I've come across people who met their fathers later on in life and they ask, okay, but you abandoned me, but this, but that, even when the man is not in the wrong in that case, the mere fact that there's nothing tangible that he can hold on to say, my child, I fought for you, it further causes a rift in that relationship between the child and the father. And at the end of the day, that's who is important, the child. The problem is we want to take our battles and fight them with each other and using the child. And unfortunately, that doesn't help. So, yes. That's what I was saying. But Gina had a submission to make.
Yes, I just want to say, like, it's pretty weird to compare the two, to say that if women talk about being abused and you say, why don't you go to the police? It's the same as saying when a man comes here and says, I have no access to my child, why don't you go to court? Because statistically, women that do go to the police stations, their cases do get knocked out of the police station and out of court. Statistically, Nje, you know, the reason why GBV is high, it shows. It shows, you know? And so that's why it's more demeaning to say that to a victim, because it's not that women do not try. The reason why you even say so is because you know that women do try to go via that route, right? Fine. Number two, when I say that it doesn't make sense to compare it to us saying, then why don't you go to court? Number one, I'm getting the insinuation that you thought we were saying that in a demeaning way. It was actually in a question of concern of, if you are so worried about not having access to your child, then why don't you go to court? Men do not go to court. And a lot of men who actually end up sharing custody of their child are men who are divorced. Because in court, when you split 50-50, it even includes the children. Then you have to split the custody even with the children. And that's how you end up having custody. But men in general do not even go and try to fight for their children. You heard the response of Altia Shap here, saying that, why should I fight for my child? And I asked, why not? Why not? Why do you not see the need to fight for your child?
Not the moment.
Kanya, can you please mute?
Yeah, I did a lot of it.
Kanya, can you please mute, Mama?
Oh,
In
sorry.
one of the posts that I had seen, because say the women start to escalate it now, right? Because clearly, by the numbers that you are seeing of men not going to court and not fighting for their children in court, you know, it's a sign of negligence. What happens when women start to charge you for negligence? What happens then? Because actually not taking care of your child and relying on things like, well, the woman is evil. So what if the woman is evil? The democracy and the law and the constitution has given you your rights to have your child in your life. You don't exercise that right, statistically speaking.
Yeah, thank you for your submission, Gina. And sorry about that, guys. I'm used to being alone. So I don't really mute my mic that much. But yeah.
Can I
So,
respond to her response?
okay, please go for it, sir.
Sure. Yeah. I think maybe we this is where we depart. This is where we disagree. Because I think I'm drawing a parallel, not a direct comparison. So I'm drawing a parallel to sentiment. I'm not equating the two situations. So when I say when people are told go to the police, you've been abused, and people are also being told go to the courts, you're being denied access. I'm comparing the principle of silencing. I'm not comparing the weight of the two situations. I think that's the first one, maybe where we disagree in principle, not in in situation. The two, of course, are not the same thing. They cannot be the same thing. Abuse and child rights are two different situations, but the principle and situation can be compared. I think that's one. Secondly, what did I want to say? Yeah, I think where we agree in principle, but also I agree with your sentiment in principle, but I disagree as a point of departure is when you say after 20 years, after 15 years, after how many other years, when you go to your child's father or you go to your father as a previously abandoned child or whatever the case may be, whether your father was denied access or not, and you say, what did you do to fight for me? What didn't you do to fight for me? I think even in that, I find that a bit problematic because an abandonment wound, I don't think there's an explanation that would make sense to a child that has an abandonment wound. So even if you show the child, or listen, I went to court, I do this, I did that, I don't think it's going to solve any kind of abandonment wound if you were not there. And I think that's the point, where people who deny people access to their children, that's the point, is the damage is done. Even after 15, 20 years, you come and say, here's proof, here's blah blah blah, here's this, that. The damage is done. The damage is done. After 20 years of your father not being in your life, for whatever reason, whether legitimate or not, you will have resentment towards them. You will have resentment towards them. It might ease the blow. It might ease the blow, but the wound will be there. The wound will be there. So I don't know if it will help. Maybe it will, maybe
So,
it won't.
Deborah, tell me, as a father, would you not do whatever it takes to somewhat ease the blow in one small, even if it makes the smallest difference, but will you not try to actually make that little difference as opposed to just, oh, I fought for you? And then what? Oh, your mother didn't want. And then what? No, your mother was a problem. Your mother was toxic. But you left me with this toxic person and you didn't try nothing.
But Kanya Wazai was supposed to be next, Mama.
Okay, so I was still
Let me
asking
just
Demo the question.
let me just
I was just responding to that way he said that what you call this he can't it doesn't help. And you can't say it doesn't help, but anyway, sorry guys, now I'm passionate, man. Okay. Was I Please make your submissions, was I before you get
will it make a difference? Will it make a difference? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. There's no.
But as a
I don't
father,
know.
would you not try and make the smallest amount of difference? Is my question. But okay,
But
let's go to Wazai
not
while you ponder on my question.
no.
So
That's not the POV I was coming from. Sorry, we're going to someone else. Okay.
yes, I'll come back to you because now we're not being fair.
No,
Wazai,
I honestly lost my train of thought. Like I even lost what I wanted to say, so it's chill. Like it's
I'm
no
so
point.
sorry about that. Wazai, sorry, man. I was still settling in. I'm very, very sorry for not paying attention. But as soon as it comes back to you, please don't be scared to shout and scream and say, "Yeah, it's my turn. I will accept it." So, Tebogo, I was asking you, and that goes to Azai only. She's the only one that's allowed to interject from now going forward right now because we've kept her on the bench after she has done things correctly for a long time. So, yes, Tebogo, so as a father, would you not want to make even the smallest difference when it comes to your child's emotional well-being, somehow to feel like there was something worth fighting for at some point? Or are you happy with them just thinking,
Yeah.
well,
No, I
she
think.
wasn't worth the fight anyway. She wasn't worth you going to the courts and you
Yeah.
just walked away.
No, that's. I think that's a. It sounds like a bit of a rhetorical question. So, because of course, As a concerned father, that's what you should do. But I want us to take a step back before we address whether or not the father is fighting or not fighting. That's besides the point, because it's rhetorical. Of course, the father will. If the father cares, they will fight to the best of their ability. Now, the best of their ability will look different for different men. So I think that's besides the point. What my point is, our point of departure is, it seems to be there's no conversation to be had on what recourse do people have when they are when they are denied being denied access to their child. What's the recourse there? So it can't be we focus on the victim and say, but what did you do to fight you yourself? That's a non-conversation to me.
How are
You
you a
need to take
victim
a step
when
back and
this
say,
child
okay,
is literally your responsibility, Tebogo?
wait, we are not talking about the child. We are talking about the conflict between parents now. If you are denying me access to my child, you are doing so intentionally to cause a father wound in this child, and later have them blame it on me.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask a question. Does this have
Yeah.
anything to do with paternity leave?
No, but these are questions you asked me, Muskanya.
Okay, no, no, no. I'm just asking. No, I'm asking because you think you submitted on that. That's why I asked. Can we
Okay,
not?
no,
Because yes,
let's not sway
but
the
now I'm
conversation. That's
asking because
okay.
now I'm seeing this conversation is
It's
continuing.
okay.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. No,
okay.
that's fair. Let's let other people go.
Thank you.
Yes.
I remembered what I wanted to say regarding paternity leave.
Thank you. And that's this patata. Thank you.
Alrighty. So I saw one of the comments that say that men are not paid for paternity leave, right? So my answer to that question was, if you and your partner have had a discussion on wanting to have a child, would you not put up the accurate amount of savings for said child when you take paternity leave, in which you have to take care of the mother of your child because of the burden she had to endure giving birth to the child, whilst also helping in feeding, changing basic necessities of said child? That is one way to combat the whole being unable to have money for the certain amount of days or weeks you've been given by your company, right? But we also have to acknowledge that majority men take paternity leave only to be an extra burden, extra child in the household, instead of trying to pull up socks and trying to help the mother of their child in the state of duress she is, because she did give birth to an entire human being and her body is going through many changes. I'm not disregarding the minority or most men who do step up and try to relieve the burdens of their wives, but some of them do have that mentality of saying that since my wife has given birth, I feel neglected. You understand? And I feel like paternity leave in that statement doesn't emasculate men, it brings them closer into understanding the hardships a woman has had to have in order to have this child. You get it? It is bringing them closer into understanding that my wife's body has changed so much to bring this human being that is literally my blood into this world, and I need to do something to help my wife and my child. That is what paternity leave is supposed to embody. And no, I'm not going to say that people don't abuse it, they do abuse it. And sometimes as a woman you should have that mentality of seeing the signs of, is this man going to give me the love, affection, and also care that I need for this? And also a whole quotes and stuff. This is like a by statement for Tebogo, who was here, right? Yes, your analogy of using DBV allegations to the police and also men fighting the courts to go see their child is a horrible analogy to use, because DBV stats are very, very all-time high, and they're still not being taken as serious as we should have had them being taken serious. That's all I had to say. But
The
thank you.
issue. Sorry, man. Can we please stray away, because I feel like something's been pulling us towards that conversation of court, and then it becomes a gender war. can we stick to the topic at hand? But thank you for your submission. I feel like
Tanya,
that's
I
very.
actually haven't had a
All
submission in
right,
between
can
when
I
you
please
Kanya,
make my
me, and I
submission?
haven't had what's this thing, a
Kanya.
submission.
Okay, can
The
one
time wants
person
to
at
say
a time
something. He's been
speak?
waiting.
Can one person at a time speak? But and I was also still saying something. I need, unless if you feel like you wanna moderate out in looks, I will gladly give you the baton. But anyway, like I
All
was
right, I
saying.
raised my
Kanya, don't
hand.
be like
I
that. I
raised
don't
my
like it when
hand
you're like
like
that.
Just give me the baton.
I raised my hand 30 minutes ago. I'm not sure if I'm still on the lineup
I'm
to
very
put my
sorry,
submission.
Amanda, but okay, please do. After ST, we're gonna have Drifter, and then after Drifter, we're gonna have Gina. Did the time make a submission yet?
Even I
No,
haven't
madam.
had a submission that I've made, Kanya. I don't
Yeah, but
think
these
this
are
is
new
fair.
members on the panel who haven't
He
said
hasn't made a
a
submission.
word.
Let's give him a chance.
I've been here like since before everyone, and
Yes,
I have not had
you've
my
been
submission
talking.
since.
You've been talking. Give the time a chance. You come after.
Okay, can we now? Okay,
Okay.
guys, new way of doing things. Let everybody make their submission from ST, Drifter, Miss Gina, without any interjections, please. Please, I am begging you, no interjections. Allow a person to make their submission. If you interject, you automatically forfeit your chance to make a submission. That is your submission, that interjection that you will choose to make. So, ST,
All right,
please go ahead.
I'll be short and brief. Husbands can now take their wives' surname. Fathers can now take maternity leave. Are these really wins for men, or the system is gradually demasculating men? So, according to me, my opinion, these are not really wins for men because there are really like no benefits of this coming into fruition because there's nothing that was happening before which is not happening now. So there's not much of a difference. So whether this is happening or not happening, there's not much of a difference. So hence there's no win for a man. I don't see any win for men in this situation because things are still happening the way they were happening. Like fathers are still working like to provide for their partner and their newborns. To be honest, on the ground, like people who are working, really fathers don't take maternity leave. And then the last part of the question says, is the system gradually demasculating men? The system is not de-emasculating men at all. Because, for example, this law of husbands taking their wives' surnames was really brought about to accommodate the LGBTQI community who faced like a backlog because of same-sex marital situations there. I won't get into detail in relation to that. A person who maybe uh, wants to satisfy themselves in relation to that can read case law or check the relevant new legislation on this matter. And then the last part says, is feminism taking over the world? Nope, not at all. Feminism is not taking over the world because like feminism is just an ideology that like a lot of people, like a few people subscribe to in the entire world. So it's really not taking all over the world. That's it. Thank you.
Yes, okay, can we have Drifter make his submission? As for every man finds, men find everything
Yes.
emasculating.
Let me make my
Drifter,
submission
please
before you.
make your.
Kanya, the
I
time
think
asked to speak in the comments.
No, I've already said that we are making, everybody is making a submission and then we can come in and ask to speak and interject and all of that. I think I made that clear. Drifter, please make your
I was
submission.
also going to make a submission, my sister. Okay, it's fine.
let me make my submission. I think I would like to be very clear that I think what the topic is men taking their wives' surnames. I don't even understand the basis for that, because this is just the Western agenda of trying to change the African culture. It does not make any sense as to why a man should take a lady's surname. We have been working with the women adopting men's surnames. I don't understand, because of this feminism. There's equality and equity. It is being forced down to an agenda that even does not make any sense at all. Now, fathers cannot take maternity leave. Again, I do not understand how this is beneficial to any man at all. In Kenya, we have paternity leave, and it does not make sense at all. You're not being given any kind of financial benefit. All you have to do is join your wife at home, and you are not going to add any value being at home with your wife. As a man, you know your duty is to provide. You need to keep providing, trying to take a role of a mother in the initial stages of a newborn. Is there's no value you're adding. I mean, the kid is exclusively being breastfed. You have a nanny at home. You can't offer anything that is of value at that point. It is only a matter of just because we are being reactionary. It's because women have maternity leave. Now men have to join them. It is because they want just to try and make it seem like because this is being done to women, now it is also men are supposed to get it. But it does not add any value. Now, is the system actually trying to de-emasculate men? Definitely. I mean, the agenda has been to try and just dilute the roles of men in the society, and by the end of the day, the society will crumble. We are having a problem at the family level. So definitely, de-emasculation is working, and that is the agenda. Is feminism taking over the world? Yes, it is. Toxic feminism, I think we started from the onset about equality and equity of rights and opportunities for ladies. Now it has been diluted into something that doesn't even make sense. You try and voice your opinion as a man, you're being told you are, I don't know, you are, there was that these people use, I don't want to use it, and it doesn't make sense. You cannot voice your opinion, you cannot disagree. It seems that when you do that, you are against the system, or you are disrespectful. But when a lady does it, it's her right. Yeah, she needs to do that. It is, I mean, it doesn't make sense anymore. So that is my island. That is my submission.
Oh, disturbing submission, no lies, but we'll come back to that. Miss Gina, will you please make your submission? No rebuts, but submission. If you are rebutting, that is your submission.
It's done. Husbands can now take the wives' surnames. I say, so what? It's confusing to me the way that men are fighting about this, as if the law is saying it is now mandatory for husbands to take their wives' surnames. The way in which this thing has come up is that it's a thing of choice. It's a thing of freedom. It is a thing of you being given the freedom of now expressing your rights according to the Constitution. Another thing that people are forgetting, right, is that for this thing to have even been a thing, it was two couples. Oh, not two couples, two people who are a couple who came together and challenged the system, utilizing their rights and utilizing this very democracy that we live in, to go to the court and say, my husband, which is something that I think they sat down as adults to discuss. Because if they can discuss about getting married, that means they've reached a certain level of maturity, they're at a certain level of adulthood, and they came together to say, this is what we have decided. And for the law to stand in our way when we live in a democratic country, we will not stand for that. And now, because these two people were able to exercise their rights, now men who also want to take on the surnames of their wives can do so without there being any consequence, right? That's all I want to say. Fathers can now take maternity leave, right? Number one, I did ask Mr. Ancient, because there he goes on to ask, is the system gradually demasculating men? I did ask that, isn't this the first sign of men demasculating other men? To say it's a maternity leave when paternity leave is not something that is new. It's something that very much exists in other countries. I didn't know that it didn't exist in this country, but it's about time, right? This is not something that is mandatory. It's it's weird to me that men are fighting this. Like, again, the law said this is mandatory. Like, the law put a gun to your head and said, if you don't do this, we will unalive you, like they did in the days of apartheid. This is weird to me. This is a thing of choice. And this is a thing of choice for people who want to exercise that right. This is also an opportunity for the men who want to be responsible and who want to be fully present for the beginning stages of their children's lives, right? And who also want to be there for their partners. Because with giving birth to a child comes a lot of responsibility. Women suffer a lot after having given birth, and there are men who would actually like to be there for their kids. And now they are given that right to be there for their kids, right? It's not mandatory. So it's weird to me that men would react like this as if this is something that is forced, right? Fine. Are these really wins for men, or the system is gradual? I'm not even going to answer that. Is feminism taking over the world now? So what if it is? So what if it is? Nah? If it's taking over the world, I couldn't care any less. I say it's about time. Feminism has never hurt men. I don't know why they keep fighting, like this is something that is meant to hurt them. And then lastly, which is something that I will link to my first point, where husbands can now take their wives. I think this highlights that men, there is something weird about someone giving up their entire identity in the name of being your wife, giving away their surname in the name of being your wife. Women who've worked in industries and have made a name for themselves have to forfeit that. Before there was even a thing of double barrel surnames, or before it was a thing that we even talked about on socials, right? Women would let go of their names regardless of how far they have come, regardless of whether they come from families that carry weight. A person who is a Mandela, it wouldn't even matter. If you marry into the Grip, for example, if you marry into a Grip family, you are no longer a Mandela. You are forfeiting your identity. And now, when the time has come for you to do the same, men are now kankalazing, men are now toying. And this is weird to me, but it highlights something, that there is something that is wrong there. Thank you. That is all I will say for now.
Thank you, Gina. You said a mouthful, so I'm not even going through the time. Please make your submission, sir.
Okay, madam. I will start with the first that says husband can now. I hope you can hear me, guys. Can you hear me? Okay. I will start with the question that says husband can now take their wife's surname. Now, to answer this question, I think I will answer this question in both in three forms. One of the form is religion. That may be Christianity or Muslim. And then number two is constitution, of which number three is what we call a culture. Now, according to my culture, I'm a Xhosa man. Now, when a Xhosa man goes to a woman, he does that thing that we call ilobolo. That means he buy that woman. When he bought that woman, he will give that woman a new identity. That means that woman will be given a name, and he will take the man's surname. That means that woman will be given a new name. That means that woman will take that man's surname. Okay, now if we go to according to a religion, I think that is also applied to Christianity and Muslims, because of Christian they also pay lobol, of which Muslims they pay to lobol. But if we go to constitution, according to the constitution, You don't have to pay lobolo, you just have to take the woman to the court. So I think it depends on what angle you are checking it. Now when we say husband now can take their wife's surname, this will not only benefit South African, but it will also benefit Nigerians, because of they are the one who are marrying our sisters. I'm telling you, in few years to come, you will hear a Nigerian man called Ukumalo or Kanyumalo or something like that, because of we know in the Goguti, our sisters, they are like this. I think they are the one who's going to benefit in this system, because of I don't think there is a man who knows his identity, who grows up with his father, who will want to change his surname if that man understand the importance of a surname. Now, if we come to now, fathers can now take the maternity leave. Now, according to my culture, since I also have a wife, I don't think there is a reason for me to take maternity leave, because of even if I can support my wife, let's say if my wife just gave birth now, then I'm given maternity leave. I don't think I will understand the process that like. I don't think even if I can stand with there with my wife on pregnancy, let's say, and then live with my wife and then support her. The point of the fact is I will never understand the pain that my wife went through, because of I think it was designed for God for her to be like that. Hence I have to go and then to find a person who's older than me, like my mother or my mother's sister, something like that, the one who truly understand that pains, who have experienced that thing. She's going to be the one who's going to support her. So in maternity leave, it is not important to me. Now I will just put imali, I will just call my mother or my mother's sister or my elder's sister, who like like the person like who has just been like the person who has given birth, to be the one who will assist my wife, because of, to be honest, serious note, I will never understand what it feels like to give birth. It's more like, let's say, if we can say, let's say, from example, I'm a Xhosa man, for sure, as a Xhosa man, I'm a man, I am circumcised. Even if my woman could say, listen, wise man, or listen, the time I want to stay with you, I want to go with you when we are going to the circumcision, you will never understand what I went through there. You see what I mean? Even if you were there to support me, you will never understand it. It is the same with women. I think they were ordained for that. Hence, they need someone who can understand their system. And then it is also the part of the culture, because of when a woman he is pregnant or she has given birth, there are certain changes of which I may not understand those changes, but my mother who have experienced that part will understand those changes, and then he will be able to support her. I think that is according to my culture. That is according to the culture. It says are these really wins for men, or the gradual system to demasculating men? Hence I'm saying it depends on what influences you, because of hence I said there are three things that influence a man. One, it's a constitution. Number two, it's what we call it culture. Number three, it's what we call it lobol. So it depends which one you use. For example, there are some men who believes in constitution. They believe you don't have to pay lobolo, I don't have to negotiate with your father, I don't have to get the blessings from your father, I can just take you to court, then we begin to sign the papers. Jongaka, when you have paid lobolo, that means now you will have to this thing of getting blessings from the parents. That means there will be a relationship between my parents and then this sister's parents and then her relatives and then also my relatives. That means when there is a problem now, the relatives and then also the elder one of the families will come now to discuss the problem. That means we will receive the guidance. But if we are going according to the constitution, there is no such thing. So I think it depends on what system you are using. It's either you are using a constitution, or you are using landukle, or you are using a culture, or you are using a religion. Is feminism taking over the world now? No, feminism is not taking over the world, but it is taking over the internet. Because of on the internet, if you begin to say something that is so like, if you begin to say something that is so straight, they will begin to remove your account. So feminism, they are just taking over the internet. I can say it's more like EFF. They are just taking over the internet, but when it comes into the ballot paper, they are not even number 2 or number 3. So that is the same thing that happens with the feminism. But wise women are they building their home? Actually, some real men and then some real women, you may find that in Dogoguti, they don't even have the internet. So yeah, feminism, they are just taking over the internet. They are not taking over the world. Yeah. Then it is the same thing as this thing of I think there are more umzelo. If you check another thing of Muslimic here in South Africa, you can see it's all over the internet, but it's very rare to see a Muslim. That means that also that party is also taking what the internet. They are not actually taking the world. There is the difference to dominate on the internet and to also dominate on the world. Thank you. That is my submission.
Yeah, okay, I will hold my thoughts on your submission for now. Potato, please make your submission, my darling.
I need to hold my tongue because I wanted to rebut on the time. So let me answer the questions and yeah, I'll talk later. It's fine. Husbands cannot take their wives' surnames. Why should we care? That is my 100% statement is why do men care? If another man decides to take their wife's surname, why do they want to insert themselves in a relationship that is bound between two people? Why do they want to be the third party when it's none of their business? And this is why men emasculate other men because they don't have the, okay, I don't want to say all men, some men don't have the mental capacity to understand that other men are just different and it's their choices. Righty? So who cares? If my husband wants to take my surname, he can. Okay? A surname is not an entire identity. Do not make it the identity that defines who you are. No one cares. Thank you, Miss Gina, for stating that. Second one, fathers can fathers can now take merchant. I already answered that one, so I don't really have to do that. Are these really wins for men? For the system is gradually de- de-emasculating men. Alrighty. So my statement on this is that it is wins, honestly. Paternity leave is for you to understand, grow, and bond with your child. We've already established that correctly. And giving this to men is also trying to help bond with the family. It is not de-emasculating men. Men are de-emasculating men. Men are the ones who are coming after men for trying to do the bare minimum, right? It is the 21st century. It is the 21st century. Sorry, the comments are like distracting me, so let me not read them. But yeah, it's the 21st century.
Please, there's.
I'm not gonna read them.
Sorry, I don't wanna cut your submission, Potato, ne? But in the comment section, there will always be people who are gonna speak nonsense because they don't agree with what you're saying. But understand, some of us siyakuzwa sis. Continue to cook.
Okay, no problem. Anyways, men are the ones who are emasculating men. All right, men are the ones giving statements on what men should be, how men should be, how men should act when they are literally taking a copy and paste carbon book of what misogyny is and trying to wrap it in a nice bow and arrow of this is what masculinity is. All right. When we make things equal, that men can have paternity leave and women can have maternity leave, we're doing it in a way that we're trying to create a household in which both parties are equal in understanding that, hey, I gave birth to a child, help me take care of the child, help me as your wife, as your partner, as your new family create a more bearable environment. And now other men would be like, what's the point of you doing that? You shouldn't do that. New. So the problem is not the system, but men themselves. They should look inward and ask themselves, why do they feel the need that this is demasculating them? That is the question they should ask themselves. And then the last one is feminism taking over the world now? I think men, I don't want to say men. Yeah, I think majority men are taking misandry and wrapping it around feminism because misandry is the hatred of men. It is toxic. You understand? That is misandry. Feminism is the basic equality of women striving towards men. That's all we are asking for. The basic equality that men have always had in the patriarchy. If it's taking over the world, it's doing it for the right reasons. Miss Gina said, what has feminism ever done to men negatively? Nothing. That is all we want is basic equality. Only that. And now when people go like, is feminism taking the world? It's so toxic. There's toxic femininity, there's toxic feminism, blah blah blah. There's also toxic masculinity. There's also there's also being a misogynist, right? As they are negatives with feminism, there's misandrists, but it doesn't mean that feminism is in its whole entirety is not there. It's happening. It's been happening. History books have been written. Women can now vote. Women have equal rights. Women can get jobs the same as men. Women are now standing in the front line. We're not at the end. This is not the finish line. We're just starting. We're in the front line of what it should be, a purely equal ideal world. And it's going to happen whether we like it or not. It's not an internet thing. It shall happen. Thank you so much.
Mm, beautifully said, Potato. Beautifully said.
Can I quickly make a
Love
rebuttal?
that. No, the group has not yet
What?
submitted.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, but that was a beautiful thing. What you call it? Submission. I love the fact that you also clarified the thin
Kanya, you're
line
being very
between.
biased as a moderator.
I like the
Because
fact that
you
you
seem
also
to be taking a
clarify
position.
the
Drifter, hush.
difference.
Oh,
I love
please.
the fact that you also clarified the thin line between feminism and misandry that we have been missing for the longest time, because a lot of people have been fighting the whole feminism thing, whereas we're actually fighting misandry, not feminism. But now I'm going to let the group make his submission, and then I'm going to let ST make his rebuttal. Then after that, okay, no, yeah, then some gay. Listen, ST, if you feel like I'm wasting your time, you're more than welcome to go
Oh,
elsewhere where your time is not
yes.
being wasted.
But,
So, the group, please make your submission.
yes. ST, you're more than welcome to fuck off. Leave our panel. Anyways,
Yeah,
I,
no, you're not gonna do that to me.
you're
You,
going to do it to yourself.
no, I immediately when Kanye reprimanded
Close your
me,
mouth.
I put.
Close your mouth. When you were making a submission, nobody was talking. Thank you.
Yes, so
Anyways,
Samge, please make your submission.
I'm sorry, I think the gripper was supposed to go before me, so
I'm here and I'm ready.
Yes, I apologize. I apologize. The group, please.
Of course, you're going to do that to me, Kanya.
And
First things
yes,
first.
guys, I will. So before the group makes his submission, please, if you feel like you need to have the last word, I will drop you. My patience is very short with nonsense tonight. If you feel like you're going to be disrespectful in one way or the other on the panel and you can do it as you please, I will drop you.
Thank you.
Please proceed, the group.
First things first. It's about time we saw the rise of the Godmother who created us reascend to the throne. And anyone who is afraid of feminism is a coward. He hates his own mother. Because if he loves his own mother, he would understand the reason why feminism is important. This is the rise of the kingdom of the Godmother. And we are so blessed to have the opportunity to witness it. It was like people that lived under the apartheid regime finally watching democracy come to life. Of course, there were racist individuals that were against it. I am one of the people who are blessed and highly favored to watch the Godmother reascend to the throne, take charge, and rule. Exercise her power the best way that she knows how. Same way that they've been raising children in the absence of fathers. Same way that they gave birth to the nations. They are now standing up and they are saying, it is time that things are done properly. How blessed am I to get to witness women stand up, do it, exactly how it's supposed to be done. Now let's go back to the board. Husbands can now take their wives' surnames. Yeah, so what? Fathers can now take maternity leave. It's called paternity. Are these really wins for men? Man, we've been winning, dog. We ain't even trying to compete. or the system. It was our system, a system that has failed many, in fact, everyone. Gradually gradually demasculating men. Maybe it's about time we got demasculated, because this cock has got into our heads. We feel like we are lords. We are not lords. We are the servants.
Have you made your submission, the group? Olani, are you done with your submission? Okay. Now we're gonna go to Samge, and then we're gonna go to Mamello, and then we open the ground for rebattling. All right.
Yay. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Join us after now. We'll have to join in after the rebuts. We'll squeeze you in.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, sure. So can I speak or must I wait for the rebuttals?
No, please speak. You've already joined. The person who just recently joined is the star.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
So, in terms of, I'm not going to reiterate any points that have already been covered. So, in terms of the whole, husbands can take their wives' surnames, already as been discussed by Miss Gina and also Miss Potato, they've said that it's not a mandatory thing; it is a choice. So, with that, I'm not going to comment on it. Fathers can also take, as we have said, and as the comments have said previously, since, if I'm correct, since 2021, they have been able to take paternity leave. And I'm also speaking off of the basis of being a healthcare professional, right? So the reason for that was there's other countries who have already been doing it, but there's also commonly in pregnancy that there can be effects on the male partner or the man due to his wife being pregnant as well. I'm going to just speak in binary terms for this, right? And then in terms of the question of are these really wins for men or is the system gradually
Sorry, Sam,
emasculating
before we
men?
go further, can you
Yes?
please explain the effects that it has on men? Because I think there's a huge discourse. Sorry, before you go further, I'd like to hear from you the effects that it has on men biologically, because I feel like as women, we also fail to understand how our pregnancies affect our partners as well.
So you know how commonly women get things like morning sickness and things like that?
Yeah.
It can also commonly happen to the partner of the some of the other person who's pregnant. So they might also feel physical or physiological effects, even though their partner is the one that is pregnant. So the paternity leave is not just, just a thing of like, okay, yeah, men must also chill at home with their wives. It's also a thing of now you are at home, your wife has just come home, the baby is crying, you guys need to wake up at like every 2 hours to help with either breastfeeding if the mother is breastfeeding or to prepare the bottle and stuff like that. That is going to mess up your sleeping schedule as well. And that is linked to circadian rhythms. That is linked to poor performance at work because now you're not getting the rest that you should be or need to be getting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, thank you for clarifying that, because I feel like a lot of us have been pretty blinded to some of these effects. But yeah, please carry on.
Okay, thank you so much. And then in terms of the question of are these really wins for men or is the system gradually emasculating men? So this might be a bit of a long-winded answer, but I'm also going to tie it in with is feminism, sorry, taking over the world now. So I feel like now we are in different waves of feminism, right? The first wave of feminism was so that women can vote, right? If I'm correct, it started from the States and it was basically a rebuttal as to that statement that basically said that men can vote or man can vote. And women saying that like man does not encompass just men, man encompasses us as human beings. So women should also have the right to vote. Women should also have the right to have their own bank accounts and things like that in that vein, right? So we need to understand that the patriarchy or that system does not benefit the majority. It benefits basically like the 1% of people, if I'm going to say it like that, right? A good book to read about this, Askis, would be The Will to Change by Bell Hooks. She basically explains the harm that the patriarchy, that's what I'm going to label it as, also has on men, right? So it's a thing of that the patriarchy is basically removing men from their humanity, right? Back to what Miss Gina was saying, is that how has feminism ever hurt men? What feminism should be doing, or what feminism's goal is for us to have a better society, right? There's an article, I forgot who the writer is, but she was saying that commonly when you're first getting into feminist literature, it's this thing, and I also understand it, right? It's that you want male privilege. You also want to be able to go out at late hours of night and drink and come home, and it's fine when your brother does the same thing, but when you come home, then your parents are beating you because you're a girl, you shouldn't be out, etc., right? So when you initially go into it and reading feminist literature, that's the mindset that you want. You want male privilege. But once you fully understand that the patriarchy actually is not for anyone's benefit, it makes women basically subordinate to men. It basically makes this whole thing of like, there's men and then there's other. So men are the human beings, but other is women as property, women as objects, etc., in that vein, right? And that is also, as I said again, reading The Will to Change by Bell Hooks is an amazing book because it basically highlights how the patriarchy basically harms men, right? It's going back to the whole thing of indotaikal, right? That has psychological effects that are negative on little boys growing up. That's also the same thing of this whole thing of indota must, a man must provide and things like that. Then as a man, you are connecting your manhood to being someone who gives or provides. Where is your humanity within that, right? If a woman is meant to be head of the household because she has the skills to be head of the household, again, as Miss Potato said, that's okay. That is their dynamic. That is what works for them. We should not be interrupting what is working for them, right? Feminism is supposed to try to get us back to a place where we are within community with one another, right? So I feel like personally, women need to decenter men. Men need to decenter the patriarchy and this idea that the patriarchy has of masculinity. Because instead of saying that a man must be strong, a man must be a provider, a man must be a protector, that is taking away humanity. When as a man, who are you? Who is Uspusiso? Who is James, right? Does James like wearing the color pink? If James likes wearing the color pink, it's fine that James likes wearing the color pink. It's not harming anyone, right? So men need to decenter patriarchy. Men need to decenter the idea of masculinity that is tied in with patriarchy. And if feminism is taking over the world, it should be taking over the world for the good of humanity. It should be more of a question where we're asking, men drink a lot. So if you're beginning to get into feminist literature, you're going to say, oh yes, then I as a girl, I should also be able to drink alcohol a lot. But no, instead with feminism, we should be asking, okay, men drink a lot. We've highlighted a problem. As a society, do we want to continue having alcoholism as something that is the basis of our society? No, that is feminism. So that was just my point. Thank you for letting me join.
Thank you, Samke, for your submission. Beautiful submission. Can we just take the time to allow Mamelo to submit now? Hi, Mamelo. Okay, Mamelo seems to be occupied at the moment. Star.
Sanibona.
Baba.
Yaphila kunjani?
Hayi, ngiyaphila nami. Do you have a submission? Do you have a rebuttal? Do you want us to start with back and forth already? Please. What?
Look, I'll
Sizzle
start
now.
here. We need to move the constitution outside of the judicial office back to parliament because we are. I'm sensing that there is dominance of feminism now there, and we are still going to see many more rights being handed to us. This is just the beginning, just the start. And they don't, these new rights, they don't really affect me to that point. Like, I really don't care for these things. Me changing, I can never see myself having, using my wife's surname. It can never happen. Will never happen. Fathers can now take maternity. Man, we can help out with the lady when she's pregnant, you know? But because I'm not the one that's pregnant, I can always help out, but I can't be there next to her every moment when she stands up. I need to be there when she goes to sleep. I can't. It's a moment for me to relax from work, do other things in the house. If everything is done, I can go see my friends and get sloshed. That's some of the pegs. However, my concern, man, with what Samke was saying, it sounds like she's advocating for a world that is full of men that are into their feelings too much. Like when she said, if a guy wants to wear a pink whatever, he can wear it. Maybe maybe tomorrow we'll hear things like, if a man wants to wear a skate, it must be allowed, you know. And now we have a soft society of men. Should there be war, who's defending that country? I think sometimes we forget these things, that you also need masculinity to defend its nation against other nations. These things are very important. You can't have a society that's just in their feelings, soft. Everybody's just doing what they want. It's up to how people want to live their lives. At some point, we need to look at it and like, what is the point of this feminism? What's the good perks about it? I understand the equality and the socio-economic part of it. I really agree with rights and everything, and I think women have rights like men now. What's the next step? Should we be emotional? What's the point of me being emotional? What is the point of me letting go of this thing of providing for a nation or protecting the nation? How are women going to protect should there be an invasion? Do women are women physically able to do this? Should there be a need for it? Like, we need to, and I understand it, but at some point we need to call some other things a spade. We can give each other spaces, but for feminism to take over everything, I don't see it, you know. And another thing is that I think sometimes we miss seeing the other things, that most women don't go for the hard labor jobs. Most women are not in construction, in dangerous jobs. So who's doing these jobs? If I'm just wondering, what kind of a world are we going to live in? I feel like men are going to be in danger in the next 10 years or 15 years from now. If you stand up against what you think is right for you, you might face being cast out or something like that, or be hated by women. And I'm sensing that it's more like a revenge type of thing. Women are just ready to just do revenge, on men. I don't know. Like, I don't. And the funny thing is that you guys live amongst men. Where you work, there are men. Where you go for growth, there are men. Where you stay, there's men around you. So where should these men go? Like, should we go to another planet so that you guys can be happy? I don't understand. Thank you.
I wish you were here when if there's a lady on the bottom left corner, I'm trying to remember. Potato made her submission stuff. She clarified that there's a difference between misandry and feminism. And I wish you could have heard her deeper. And when it comes to this paternity leave thing, I'm just coming to the realization that a lot of men, you just nikalubanga my head and all of that, but you refuse to actually take the opportunity to be the heads that you want to be. Because I mean, now you're given an opportunity to say, hey, now you get to be there for your child from day one up until a certain amount of time. We are extending the period, and men are looking at this as opportunities to go drink, looking at it as an opportunity to go. You're not even thinking about, like, the child is not even a first thought in this. It's an after effects, and I find that very alarming that the
Okay,
child is now an after effects and afterthought.
yeah,
Wait, before you rebuttal me, Gina also wanted to rebuttal, but yeah. But I find it weird
Okay.
that
No,
two
no,
of
but you
the
said
Okay, so
men
it
on
can't
the
be a back and
panel.
forth.
I'm not doing a back and forth. I just
But
want
I'm not
to clear up
done. I'm
something.
not done. I'm not done. You're not the first man to make your submission on the panels, Dane. But with those submissions that I've heard, right? I think a lot of men think it's all about them either wilding it out or them either being emasculated or them, but they're not actually looking at this as fathers who want to be there for their children from day one up until, and I find that very disturbing. And
How
then when
did you hear this in what I said, Anakan? How did you
you
get there
said
with what
you
I said?
said you would help, and then when everything is done, you go out. Nothing is
So what,
ever done when there's a newborn in the house. Nothing is ever done
Tanya?
because the thing is,
Tanya, I've had children. Let me tell you, I'm not speculating. I have children. I'm not speculating with. I can't. Like, there's no way I can be with you the whole day.
why not?
There's, there is, yeah. People need space from each other. You know that. In a relationship, we need
Okay,
space
so
from
would
each other.
I be able to leave? Would the woman be able to leave you with the child alone?
Yeah, I've been left with the child alone, and
Okay,
she
then
had
it's
to do what
better.
she had to do. I mean, so that's why I'm saying don't look at it the way you are hearing it. Now, when I said do everything first and then leave, and when you leave, you ask someone, "Can I leave now?" I know. If you leave, don't take too long. Come back after 2 hours. Okay, sharp. Let me just go and do what I need to do. Come back after 2 hours. She
You
wants to
see
sleep.
now,
I take
Star,
over.
if
That's
the
it.
other men were clarifying it the way you are, I wouldn't be feeling the way I do about this. But the problem is, a lot of the men here weren't even looking at it from that perspective. It had very little to do with the child, but a lot to do with their egos, a lot to do with the just yeah, it was mostly their egos, them. Very little to do with the child, because there's even somebody here who said that he'll send his mother to go and look after the child. I think it's the time he'll send his mother. There's this, but you don't understand the importance of you in this process. And I feel like as men, if you're given the opportunity to physically be there from start to finish, then why are you passing this opportunity up? What is so scary about being there for your child from day one up until the 4 months that you've been given, the extension that you've been given? It can't be that scary, guys. I mean, you are making these babies after
Can I
all.
come in before I lose my train of thought, Kanya?
Yes.
Okay, so the one thing that, because I'm really losing my train of thought now, but the one thing that I'm holding on to is one of the last things that Usta said, where he made an example of, oh Jesus, he made an example of, I mean, men are now wearing dresses or men are now wearing skirts and whatnot. And this is so hilarious, guys, because number one, how is your masculinity a thing that you would attach to clothing? Clothing. For you to be so worried that men are now wearing skirts, as if traditionally men have not been wearing skirts. Go to Scotland. Look at their traditional attire. Go to isizwe sakaXhosa. Look at the traditional attire of Xhosa people. Go to isizwe sakaZulu. Look at the way in which Zulu men dress. They do not wear pants. So this thing of attaching masculinity to clothing for me was like, it was so hilarious. And then there's another thing that he talked about, kids and him helping around in the house. This is so ridiculous, guys. The fact that men continue to impregnate women, go around making kids like nobody's business, right? And not thinking about the fact that once the kid comes, you, because you are the parent, have as much responsibility to take care of this child as the mother does. Right? So when you take care of the child, feed them, clothe them, put them to bed, when you do things around the house and whatnot for that child, number one, you are taking responsibility. Right? And helping your partner after your partner got help is also another responsibility because you took part in making that woman pregnant. Right? Fine. Then I want to go to I don't know whether it was him, but a lot of men were talking about how the feminism and femininity and whatnot is opposing patriarchy. And that's another thing for me that is so hilarious, guys. And you know what? Before I go into that, I think so many men who've joined this panel, it shows that these men just come here and air their opinions. They don't do their research, because a lot of the women that talked here spoke not only from a point of opinion, yeah, first of all, they also spoke from a point of having facts. Osamke actually spoke about how she is in the health facility, health department or whatnot, right? So she knows what she is talking about. And it's hilarious that you would oppose this thing where it is your choice. It's not mandatory to be on parental leave, on paternal leave, which is a thing that has always existed. You don't do your research, guys. You don't do your research for real, which is a thing that has always existed. But it is a chance that you are given that has never been given to Black men in this country to actually be present fathers. You've never been systematically allowed to be present fathers. And here's the chance that you are finally given to be present fathers. And here you are rejecting it. Rejecting it. You are, number two, given the chance to finally be human. To be in your child's life is the most human thing. But systematically, go back to the 1900s in the beginning, go back to the 1800s. Men have never been allowed systematically. Black men have never been allowed to be in their children's lives, because when they were not at home, they were busy mining. When they were not mining, they were at war. When they were not at war, they were and you know what, right next to them were the women. You go and look at Umkhonto where it was not made out of just men. Women have always been by your side. Patriarchy is not for Black men. You were never even you don't have enough salary to benefit from patriarchy. You look at the people who are economically suffocated. It's Black people. Majority are Black people. The marginalized. Along with the majority, you will find men. Patriarchy is not for you. If you actually sit down and do your research, you will understand this, right? Fine. And then what else? Yes, I want to rebut on what Mr. Time said, or Mr. Time said, before he had stepped down. He talked about culturally. Whoa, guys, guys, please, I promise you, if you do your research, it will really help you. It will really help you. He talked about how culturally, ilobola for isizwe sakwaXhosa specifically, sorry for those who are not speaking is closer, for the Xhosa nation, culturally, you buy. Can you even listen to his wording? You buy a woman, and that's when they take your identity, whatnot. What Mr. Time does not know was that in the 1800s, a white man decided to meddle in Black people's business and rearrange what was our lobola negotiation. And the lobola negotiation that is going on now is very much infiltrated by the ideologies of white men. It has nothing to do with you talking about, because even in the way in which you talk about it, you can see that we buy them. When you buy people, you are buying slaves. That's why you treat omakoti the way in which you do. Because at the back of your mind, you know that you've bought this person that you are now about to enslave. And that is why Black women in the communities, especially the Xhosa community, that they continue to marry in, they become enslaved. Our mothers have been enslaved in these marriages with these Xhosa men. And it is very much linked to that ideology of the white men that chose to meddle in Black people's business. Slavery is very much a thing of capitalism. It's very much a thing of, sorry, not capitalism, but yeah, that too, I guess, now that I've said so. What's this thing? Colonization. Colonization is a white man's game. This, what is going on in the system has nothing to do with you. And for you to come here and say, is this system gradually de-emasculating men? Men de-emasculate men, number one. And also, it's never even given an F word about your masculinity as a Black person. So I don't know why you're now worrying. Sorry, you're kind of late to the party, yeah? And thank you. All I want to say.
Gina.
Sorry, sorry, Samge asked to rebut first. Nick, can you allow Samge, then you'll come after.
Sorry, so I'll be honest, I lost my train
I
of
haven't.
thought,
I was
but
about to talk.
so
If
was Drifter was supposed to talk first.
Samge, please speak.
Okay, sorry, Miss Kanya.
After you, it's gonna be Star. After Star, it's gonna be Drifter.
Okay, so excuse.
Well, okay, Drifter
So
left. So fantastic.
so
Um,
sorry.
no, I'm saying Drifter left, so he dropped himself. So I guess it's gonna be you, Star, and then we're gonna welcome LT and Sisanda to the panel.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So, Miss Gina has basically covered my rebuttal in terms of what Star was saying in the beginning about paternity leave is just going to be I'll help with what I help with, and then I'm going to dip. Because then the same question would be, then are you going to help with what is going to be helped with, and then is your partner then allowed to dip? Or no, we're not dip pela. So I think that's been covered, but as well as I think I've been speaking with LT in the comment section about Ilobola. Miss Gina has added more information to what I already previously knew. It's that it's even called in other cultures, not just in the African culture, but also in Asian cultures where they have been colonized, in also European countries, as it is known as a bride price. So what would happen previously is that women, it's only recently up until now that women were viewed as human beings. Before that, we were viewed as property. So for example, there's that scripture in the Bible where if a man rapes a woman who is not married or promised to anyone, then that man has to go to that woman's father's house, pay that father so that that woman can be his wife, or as Miss Gina had mentioned, the slave. Women were seen as property, women were seen as the people who like worked around the like the household basically, right? So the reason why the ilobola, etc., was a thing that came about as well was because now technically I am taking from this man one of their workers, one of their slaves, right? That's why you pay the bride price. So yes, just adding on to what Miss Gina was saying, that yeah, that is where it actually comes from. Thank you, Miss Gina.
So I just want to find out something. I just want to find out, um, when you say we are being given an opportunity to be human beings, what are you talking about? When do
I
men
don't mind
start?
answering.
Wait. Can I just finish? Can I just please? When do we start being human beings, and when do we end being human beings? Please explain to us. When you say we are getting given a chance to be human again.
Miss Kanya, do you mind if I answer, or should we first start with the new panelists?
Make it quick, then I can welcome the new panelists.
Okay, sure. So, like I said, I'd strongly suggest reading The Will to Change by Bell Hooks or any of her other pieces of literature. Because
No,
as I've sorry,
Samge.
please
This
repeat.
question. Wait, this question was not for you. It was for Gina. Gina is the one that said we are being given an opportunity to be human beings again.
Okay, before we go further, then, since now we're going around in circles, Nesta, can I please welcome Sisanda to the panel?
No. Wait. Kanya, you gave
Sir.
people a chance to rebut. Mara, wait. Nah,
Sisanda
Kanya.
has Sisanda has
Kanya.
not spoken. How
Kanya.
long has she been on
Kanya.
the panel?
Kanya. Kanya. When
Gonna
Gina
say
was
you're
speaking,
not saying.
wait, can you just listen, Kagane, to when you gave Gina an opportunity she was rebutting and she made a statement after, and then she made a submission after, and then Samke came
Yes,
into.
but what about the
Listen,
new
can you just
panelists? Do they
listen,
not matter?
Kagane, Kanya?
Do they not matter? The new panelists, they don't matter. Sisanda, please, ma'am. You've had your hand up in the panel in the quiz comment section even before the rebuttal started.
Yeah, hi
So
everyone.
welcome to the panel.
Thank you, Kanya. Firstly, can I just start off by actually reading the definition of feminism, because even though someone has already mentioned it, I think it's just important to reiterate. And I also ask the men on the panel and in the comments to just be open-minded, because I feel they are coming in the defense and not actually an open mind to learn. But anyways, I'd just like to start off with the definition of feminism. Feminism, the social belief, the social, economic, and political equality of the sexes, all sexes. Okay. Feminism is the belief that everybody should be equal, have equal voting rights, have equal employment opportunities, have equal abilities to own land, etc. So now that that's out of the way, I'll address the first topic. Husbands can now take their wives' surnames. With that, I would like to say, like someone has already said on the panel earlier, is that if you and your wife feel like, okay, you don't want to take your wife's surname, then why does that affect you? I feel like this law was made for couples in which the husbands want to take their wives' surnames. I feel like do not let that. Now, this law does not affect you. In the same way that perhaps the law that says murderers should get 25 to life does not affect me because I am not a murderer. Maybe it's a bad analogy, but I feel like this law does not affect you, and I feel like you should not let it emasculate you. Moving on to the second topic, fathers can now take maternity leave. Well, it's paternity leave. Now, this one is gonna be a bit of a discussion because, okay, I feel like those who are against fathers taking paternity leave, I automatically assume that they have a more traditional idea or a traditional way of thinking, and to that I say, well, if you are a traditional man, I assume that your wife should not be working in the first place if you are so traditional. However, yes, if you and your wife are both working and your wife has a child, then yes, you as a father should step up and take paternity leave because your wife is also in your mind contributing to the household, and she is, also a provider, even if you don't want to call it that. If your wife is working, unfortunately in your eyes she is also a provider, and so you also have to help out with the kids. It is just fair and it is just how it should be. Are these really wins for men, or is the system gradually emasculating men? Okay, like I said in my definition of feminism, feminism helps men as well. Because I think someone already mentioned it, but men also benefit from feminism whether they want to or not. Perhaps it's the word feminism itself because it's associated, I guess, with femininity in its very definition. However, if you look into what feminism has achieved, it has achieved a lot for men. Men can now seek out mental health help in in this what we call the male loneliness epidemic. Men in the past would not have been able to speak up about this male loneliness epidemic, and it is thanks to feminism that they have that ability to do so. It is thanks to feminism where men can, when men can actually have the choice and say, hey, I actually want to stay at home. I want my wife to work. So no, the system is not emasculating men in any sense. I think if you feel emasculated by this new law, I think you really have to look inwards and do self-introspection as a man and say, well, why does a law that doesn't even affect me, why do I feel emasculated by women gaining rights? First, just very weird. Is feminism taking over the world now? I think that feminism has been taking over the world. Like I think Samge mentioned that there is first wave feminism. There are different waves of feminism at each point in time in our society, in history, because at different times in the world, in society, we need different waves of feminism. In the 50s, we had the first wave of feminism where women could finally vote, could finally go into the workforce again. Those are choices, and that is the very definition of feminism. Feminism is not about emasculating men or taking away your masculinity. Feminism is about women gaining equality. And I think that a lot of traditional men have the sense that, oh, women are wanting to be heads of the household. And in which case I say, if you want a woman to be traditional, if you want a traditional woman, go out and seek a traditional woman, because there are plenty of women who would gladly fulfill that role. However, do not expect all women to now be subjected to your belief of what women should be. That is simply, we cannot, in the same way we have separation between church and state, we cannot simply say, oh, one man's ideology of what women's roles in society should be is now how everybody is now what all women should be subjected to. Okay. So no, feminism, yes, feminism is taking over the world, but no, not in the way that men are thinking that it is. Also, someone said about men wearing skirts, etc., etc. Again, that's the benefit of feminism. You as a man have the choice. You have the choice. The key thing about feminism is choice. You have the choice as a woman to work or don't work. You have the choice to get married or not get married, to have kids, to not have kids. And as a man, you have the choice to not go to the war, because guess what? Men now are not forced to go into war if they do not have to go into war. And that is largely thanks to feminism and freedom movements that, again, a lot of men fail to acknowledge that feminism has also helped them a lot. So if you as a man have ever sought out mental health help, you have benefited from feminism. If you as a man have ever said to your bros, yo bro, like I'm really struggling at the moment, you have benefited from feminism. I really hate to break it to you. And for those, I'll just close off by saying, because I'm also a religious person, but I think that men often get twisted up about, they like to quote this Bible verse that talks about women having to submit to men. So to that, I would like to say, if you read the very next verse, the very, very next verse, it says, men, love your wives as how Christ loved the church. And I think if we all know, if you claim to be Christian, you know that Christ died for the church. Again, this is for the men who are religious. For those men who are traditional, I've already spoken on that. Now I'm speaking to the religious men. It says in the Bible, love your wives as how Christ loved the church, and Jesus died for the church. And you subjecting your wife to basically slave and ownership, as someone had actually said, is not how Jesus loved the church. And that is not how you should be loving your wives. So, thank you.
Thank you, Susanda. I love that. Really, really love that. LT, welcome to the panel.
You, hi Kanya, hi everyone. Good evening. Hoping all of you are good.
We're fantastic. Hope
Great.
you're good.
Interesting topic. Shade has already been thrown at me, but okay, it is as it is.
Before you even say a word, okay? Earn the shade, sir. Earn the shade.
Yeah, no, I'll take it. I'll take it. Look, some guess. Well, okay, maybe let me not. Let's rather leave that. Let me go and answer the question. Husbands can now take their wives' surnames. Well, look, I'm not sure why people are having issues with this. Because, like, if you understand South Africa's constitution and the basis of equality, you will know that this is not a question. Or rather, let me put it differently. There is no good enough argument that you can put that supposedly means that a man's surname is the one that needs to be taken by anyone. And that is essentially the basis of this. For instance, in the next 2 years, I can guarantee you, I'll take a bet with anyone. Polyandry is coming and it's going to be legal in South Africa. Why? Because polyandry is Tembu in reverse, where the woman has many husbands. That is going to be legal soon. There's a draft marriage bill that is being considered, and this is one of the topics that are being put on the table. And from a constitutional point of view, there is no good enough reason why the man has to be the one that takes multiple wives, right? Just as much as, or rather, if you accept that a man can take multiple wives, there is no good enough reason you can put forward that then a woman couldn't take multiple wives. Now, the fact that that exists has no bearing on anyone who's not impacted by that. So, do I care if a man goes and marries multiple wives? I'm not involved. I don't care. Does it impact me if someone goes and takes someone else's surname? No, I don't care. But as many speakers have put it forward now, right? That why does it care? How does it take away from you? Why are you so impacted and so hurt by it? Like I don't understand, but hoping people can come through with some cogent and concise argument as to why, right? Because from a legal standpoint, it has been proven that there hasn't been a good enough argument against these things. So that's a starting point. And then I thought I should kind of spend some time on maternity versus paternity leave, because seemingly people are mixing up the two. Maternity leave, or rather, let me be more accurate, paid maternity leave and paid paternity leave. Maternity leave is when the mother goes and gives birth, right? It's normally 4 months. But now the constitutional court ruling says that now the father can also participate in that. That means that the father can be present, take leave that is paid to be with their kids. I don't know, but if you are being paid to go spend time with your kids, or rather your newborn child, not only with a newborn child, but with the mother who's just given birth. She's probably had a C-section, so she's recovering from stitches. She just had natural birth, so she's got stitches as well. She might not necessarily be fully recovered. She goes home to take care of this child. If you know anything about infants or newborns, they cry a lot. She's not going to be sleeping. She needs to be washing the child, changing nappies, feeding. Like, there's so many things that any one person cannot do that. It makes sense that there's someone there to be helpful. And not only that, the fact that then you have to go to work does not take away your opportunity to be a father, or at least to help the mother. Why? Because you're going to be paid for the time to be with your newborn child. I'm struggling to see where is the issue here. Why would, if you're getting paid to go and help the mother who's just given birth, or at the very least be with your child, where is the issue? I'm failing to understand that, but it is what it is. So paternity leave is basically for the father, right? So maternity is in the law. What's new now is that paternity for the father of the child can now take leave, paid leave, to be with their newborn child. Are these really wins? For me, I think it's wins, because from all the discussions that men have had, they always put, or the guys on this live have always put, is that it's better for the children to grow up in a two-parent household. So then there's an opportunity for people to be there in a two-parent household. The law is giving them that opportunity. Again, I'm kind of struggling to see where the issue is, right? You're getting paid to spend time with the person who's just had your child and with your child. Two-parent household. A win, in my book, at least. And emasculating men, again, how are men being or rather, as a man myself, I don't feel emasculated by this. Why would it emasculate me? I don't understand. My manhood does not depend on what women do or don't do. My manhood is me and what it is that I do, not what other people do or don't do. Right. So again, I don't understand if there's feminists out there, if there's people changing their surnames, if there's women marrying multiple men. How does that impact my manhood and who I am, and how would that emasculate me? I'd need someone to kind of explain this, so that then we can kind of be on the same level. And is feminism taking over the world? Well, no, but what we need to consider is the fact that we're in 2025, which basically means that throughout history, whenever there's a situation where there's one group that is subjugating another, right? The group that is being subjugated, or the group that is being oppressed, will always revolt. And that is the case throughout history. And whenever you have dictatorships, those dictatorships have fallen. And this has been the history of humanity, and we are not going back. So feminism, or the call for women to have equal rights, is the same as black people, right? We fought apartheid so that we can be seen as equal to white people. Because why? We are human, right? So same story with women. Women are human. Why is it that then they should be excluded in any way? If you accept that men and women are human and they're equal, then stands to reason whatever a man can do, a woman can also do, right? There'll be certain exclusions and certain differences, but fundamentally we're all human, and so therefore we should enjoy the same rights. So again, not failing to understand where the issue is exactly. Furthermore, as I said, we are not going back. So anything that has to do with people that are subjugated, even now the discussions now is talking about capitalism, and actually, do we need capitalism? Again, capitalism enshrined in it is the fact that there's people at the top, a class warfare of sorts. Again, that's been called into question. That's because now we've conscientized ourselves as human beings that we are not accepting situations where people are being oppressed, and we're just not going to go back. So if you have the mind that somehow we need to go back, it's not going to get there. I'll land there.
Thank you, LT. Okay, Star and Gina, you had a little back and forth you wanted to have there. Please have it now before I welcome Lerato to the panel.
Number one, I have an issue with this thing of being human when you are home with your children. We are not humans when we are not with our children going to work for our kids. I'm confused with that part. The other part is the slavery. I think we need to understand what the word slavery means. My grandmother and my great grandmother were never slaves. I didn't see them being slaved. I don't know why you guys are using these kind of terms like slaves. They were enslaved, slaved. Anyway, I don't have a problem with people deciding to have be married to three men or four men, one woman being. I don't care. Doesn't affect me. Uh, do I want to be around that? No. I don't care if a man will decide to use his wife surname. It doesn't affect me. If that's the kind of man that you are, go ahead, have fun. The paternity one, well, it's going. This one is going to. Now imagine you have a company and you have 10 employees, and then four of those employees are to go to paternity leave, and they're going to take 4 months each. You've lost a productivity because four of your staff is home, and now you are left with six people that are supposed to push production. But it can be argued, it's fine. But just think of it like that. When you say, because normally back then, when your wife was pregnant and when she has given birth, it could be that your mother or her mother would come in to help out since you are at work. And when you come back home, you can carry the baton to help out. When she wants to sleep, you can step in, try to help as much as you can because these are your children. At the end of the day, I did it. I don't know if there's men that didn't do it, but I know myself, I did it. When I came back from work, I took over. When she wanted, and I could see that she wanted to sleep. She's tired. I took over. But when the child started being hysterical, obviously I have to bring the child back to the mother so she can breastfeed, and then after that, then I can take over again. I mean, but I'm worried about we are only human beings if we anyway.
Miss Gina, do you have anything to say to that?
Yes. As you guys know, or some of you may know, I'm not new here, right? So I know Usfiso very well. And Usfiso has a tendency of asking things that he could easily go and research, which goes to show that he doesn't really want to know this thing. It's lazy work and it's a mockery of intellect to want me to reiterate things that you could have easily done research on. He talks about slavery and he doesn't understand because he claims that he never saw which is very telling, he never saw his parents being enslaved, be that as it may. When I talked about slavery, I attached it to the Lobola negotiations, which have now become a concept of just the Black people, the African people who have been colonized. If you do your research, Sfiso, you will find that in the 1800s, mid 1800s, if not late 1800s, a white man decided to put his nose in Black people's business. And now the institution of Ilobola that we are carrying on, that we have owned and claimed that it is ours, is an institution, it is a system that has long been infiltrated. That is why I attached it to slavery. Because if a white man can infiltrate our systems, they are going to bring in their ideologies, which come from colonialism, which come from imperialism, which come from all these Western beliefs. Capitalism could be one of those things, right? I'm not even going to go in deep because I feel like that's what you want. I feel like that's what you want. What did I leave behind? Because I want to answer him, but I want to answer him. What did I leave behind?
I think it's fine, Wanachinabo. I think it's fine. We can give it to Ulirato to talk
I
because
feel
now
like we've gone through.
Can I say something
I
before?
feel like you've jumped the gun a bit there, Gina, because also please exercise some grace. Star also did join the panel mid conversation.
Star was in the comments, Mama. I know what I'm talking about.
I don't think he heard Tansi's submission.
He was in the comment section. Star is guys. The tactics of Star will come here and act like he doesn't know, and it's fine. Let's say he does not know, but when he asks questions, he doesn't ask questions because he genuinely and sincerely wants to know. He asks questions to double down and water down what has been said.
Let's let it go.
It's a new day. Let's not make it personal. It's a new day.
Because you started with character assassination before you went to what I
you
was
also
talking
were shading. LT, we were quiet.
Masiek. Can I take the time to welcome Lerato to the panel?
Can I possibly, if you'll allow me, just address that? He said something about men being human.
No, let it go, LT. There's no point.
I can address it for you, buddy.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
There was character assassination. You didn't catch it. Wait, there was character assassination before she said what she said. You are not recognizing that part. You want to go to the other part. Let's let it go. Give it to Lerato to speak, please.
Character assassination. Oh.
Okay, that's now going for LT. But anyway, LT, do you still wish to make your point, or may we proceed?
I can, if you'll allow me.
Please do. Please make it quick because there's two panelists here who haven't made a submission, and Sisanda also asked to rebut.
Sure. Okay. So the idea that we or men should be recognized for their humanity, right? I think is a theme that has been raised a few times, and the idea around it is that we as men, just as women, we have the full spectrum of experiences, feelings, everything. So basically, it's taking into account the fact that you are not just a man; you are a man existing in the world, and you have the ability, capability, capacity to be more than just a man. So in that sense, I mean that it allows you to be a father as well, right? Because you have a job that then doesn't allow you to take time off. Now, this is giving you that opportunity so that you can be a father if you choose to be a father. That is recognizing the side of you that you wouldn't normally have had the opportunity to express. But this law helps you with that. The other side is that then men are also emotional, right? This idea that amadoda wakali, actually the full saying, if anyone is very much interested in that, the full saying is indoda aikali ikala ngasese. So there was never an acceptance that a man does not cry. It was just a man does not cry in public, right? So the idea is that then we've also got emotions. So we need to be allowed to express those emotions, and the humanity of it is the fact that then we are seen as also emotional beings over and above everything else that we are as men. But the idea is that the full spectrum of our humanity is recognized, not recognized in society, but also recognized in the law. As I make an example, you being a father and being given that opportunity for you to be a father. Hope that helps.
Thank you, LT. Thank you. Can we take this time to welcome Lerato to the panel?
Sanibonani.
Kunjani baba?
Ngiyaphila kunjani mama?
Hayi ngiyaphila nami baba.
Thank
I
you.
saw you've been pretty fired up in the comments, and I've been waiting for you to finally make a submission we can grasp at, and instead of hurling insults. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's hear what you have to say.
No, first and foremost, I would like to say that if I did offend anybody, particularly females, I do apologize. There were points that I would agree with you.
Face
And
your music back. She said, I want good food.
no, so because I'm a back and forth, it is something that I won't dwell on because it's obuyela to what LT 5 star and double out and everybody who came in and spoke about these things. So on my side, it was just applying the general principle of life, kahle kahle, to say that we have our roles as men and women empilweni zethu, despite a constitution with ithini, despite what the basic conditions of employment act says, right? Because if now an intruder breaks in, who is expected to protect the family? It's the man, right? And then when it comes to nurturing, who's expected to nurture? Obviously it would be a woman with the support of a guy, right? So in terms of equality, 50-50, it will not work in terms of life principle, right? But in terms of cooperation, opportunities to make money and growth, fine, that will work. So I just want to address the questions, and then yeah, we will take it from there. Husbands can now take their wives' surnames. I really don't know what led to. Okay, you did say that there was a couple. I don't know if it was Miss Gina stating that there was a couple that went to a court so that their constitution can also be aligned in terms of men taking their wives' surnames, right? Now, we need to, before we implement something, we need to do a risk assessment, right? Now, a risk assessment would be saying, okay, what will happen now since we are having a situation of itutula? All right, now foreign men will come and take isibongo sabantu bangapha besifazane, and then now, as Itudula is trying to mitigate whatever that is going, because remember, with our healthcare as well, it's under pressure, right? Our own people, our own citizens cannot really get access. We just need to go to private hospitals or private doctors and pop out money, while the foreign people, they go to our clinics, no money is being popped out, right? So there's a lot that we need to actually identify before we implement, because as it stands now, khona abantu besifazane who are married, South African citizen, who are married to foreign guys and they don't know, and ingcolisa igama labo, right? We need to do that risk assessment kahle kahle. So once it passes a parliament, I hope that when they amend the law, bazayenza, yeah, they will just seek a remedy lapho. Yeah? Okay, number 2, fathers can now take maternity leave. Okay, with this one, since Ikdala 2021, 2020, fathers had that opportunity to take a paternity, not maternity, paternity leave, wherein it's 10 days, only 10 days, and it is unpaid. Even nale yamanje ukuthi the maternity leave can't be shared with the father, it will be unpaid. So normally you'd have companies having their own internal policies to say that, okay, when you go to maternity leave, we are only going to give you 75% of your salary. Thereby, there's no need for you to go and claim Imalzaka UIF to support you. And remember again, applying a UIF, it will take time for you to get your money. You will return to work, like I told, in most cases, right? So it's important that we also look at that fact. And on the male side, you need to make that conscious decision or speak to your partner to say, mama, as in mangizothatha le leave umholo wami kuzobheda because ecompany ayikho ipolicy ekhuluma ngokuthi in terms of ama-leave, particularly to the paternity leave, that I will get is 75%. So mama ngicela ukuthi ngichubeke ngisebenze, kodwa mangichayisa, I will support you, I will take over, I will do whatever that needs to be done. So we really need to also look at that before we make that decision. But this thing has been there for the very, very, very longest time. It's just that people know. Manzoitata or HR advise them to say, okay, you can take it. However, it will be unpaid. So imagine you are earning 20,000 and then we only 10,000. You need to pay your car off. You need to pay the house off. You need to buy utilities, take care of umama, or those things. So you need to as a man, make a decision, right? So on this one, Mabati, finally we have this excess. I really don't agree with it because you're nakdala ikona. However, the circumstances make it impossible for a lot of men to take it. A lot of men to take it because uthi salary yakho izoba affected. If the company has the policy, then it's fine. Aye mama, it's ngihlale nawe ke kube right. Now, here's the problem about this. So you know how it is in terms of life. That's why I love to apply a principle of life or impilo nje towards such things. Now, sometimes Tina Machita, we would have 3 partners or 4 women. Huh? Now, maybe 2 of them are pregnant. So, by virtue, it's going to be, how can I put this? A lot of people, especially guys, would want to use this in a sense as in folk. Angisayi emsebenzini vele. Kuyabona. So imagine you have 4 women and maternity it's 4 months. So a lot of people might want to abuse it, right? But again, because nginesithembu phela mina, a company bazothi no, you can't because you just went to maternity 3 months ago. But no, I have isithembu. How can you now discriminate and all of those things, right? So they need to have that remedy to say, okay, we know within Pilinjan, and some people will want to abuse this as much as they abuse sick leave, right? To say, ngiyagula mina, ngithenga isibhilivane, that's it, I submit it to the company, and then they pay off my 3 days or my 2 days, right? So in everything that we do, we need to actually have a recourse or sense a risk assessment basically for everything with ibe sharp, right? And then are these really wins for men, or the system is gradually demasculating men, right? Like on my side, when it comes to a constitution or any law, labor law, or let me say any law, basically, just to cover each and every segment of law, I don't really see it as a win or a lose, because at the end of the day, as a society, remember Uti, I said when we look at these things, we need to apply a principle of life. Now, women want equal rights to men. That's fine. But let's look at where, in which sphere do they want equal rights, right? And opportunities. We need to identify that first. Now, when you do your stats and research, 90%, or let me just say 99% of men are in CIT field, cash in transit. 99%, it's men. You know, dangerous jobs are men. However, I must give it to women as well to say in the mining industry, bakhona abo mama as well, by emgodini. I've worked at Anglo American last year as well. We had our production manager who are females as well, right? Now we also need to look at biology. That's why I'm saying men and women will never be the same. Now, when you look at biology, currently where I'm working, there are portions or departments wherein women cannot work in those departments. They cannot work at all. Why? Because izobalimaza this thing isibeletho. So that's why we need to identify equal rights, opportunities, whatever the case may be, in which sphere first. And then say, okay, I know, what's up? Businesswoman, no, it's fine. Be a businesswoman, mama. I won't stop you. And all of those things, right? But now, masiza in life in general, because now I saw ama comments la uti men are toxic in terms of masculinity yabo, and men are weak. And when you look at how things are, internet is really, really making men to move away or to be emasculated. It's not it's women. No. It's not that, because each and every woman wants a strong man, a man who has a vision and a plan to say, Mama, siale, must figure this tattoo right. Women want that. They want to know, what can I depend on you so that I can relax and be in my feminine state. That's what they want. But now, if you have a man who is just weak, who is emotional, in a sense that when he thinks, he uses ama feelings wakhe, then that's where you'll have a problem. Because now, for you to sort inking ening, you need to be logic. Remove yourself in terms of your attachment. Remove yourself from the problem so that you can have a better perspective. But now, once a man gets attached, then we are fucked. We are really fucked, you know. But yeah, no women wants a 50-50 in a relationship as well, or in a society. Women want to depend on us to say, can I trust you? Come on. And then nabo bakwazi ukurelax nje, because honestly, a lot of women back complaining about, hey, my man has lost his job. It's been 4 months now, and I'm tired of taking care of this guy. I am really tired. Now you see what that natural instinct, it kicks in to say, I'm not supposed to be doing this. You are the one who's supposed to be providing for me. And the provision, it's not only about money, but to be there emotionally as well, you know, to say, okay, mama, umamele umuntu wakho, yonke into ibe right, like to fulfill wonke ama-emotions wakhe nje. Kuyabona. So that's basically it. But in terms of the law, we are not losing or winning anything. Things are still the same. But in terms of society and this thing, feminism, I understand Sisanda what she said about it. However, you need to look at now people who have participated, particularly women.
Not
Oh,
to
okay. Sorry,
cut
sorry,
your
sorry, Mama.
submission, but
Yeah.
please make it a bit fast, because other panelists also have been wanting to rebut, but like somehow so dominating.
Sorry, Mama. It's in lapho ke. Athi
But anyway, thank you for your submission. there was a lot of things that I disagreed with submission Yako, but I also in the same regard, while I disagree with a lot of things that you said, I like the fact that you brought reality into the table and you made it real and you spoke about a lot of people's reality. We might not want to acknowledge it. We might want to act like, oh no, men are creating these problems or whatnot. But yeah, without going further, can I allow Sisanda to make her rebuttal?
Yes, bonge mama.
Thank you, Kanya, and thank you, Lerato, for your submission. First, I would like to rebut against something that Five Star said, and then I'll come to Lerato. It's just Five Star. You don't have to answer, but I just want to ask you a simple task. Ne? Someone said in the comments about slavery, and although I understood that was not the context that she meant it in the fact that women are slaves, however, I would like to bring it and say, if you ask any woman that was born before apartheid, before the 80s, before the 70s, please go speak to them, a married woman at that, and ask them their real experience with marriage and their real experience, because I have spoken to a lot of women, and a lot of women will tell you that they have suffered. Our grandmothers, maybe not your mother or grandmother specifically, but a lot of women and a lot of grandmothers will tell you, don't get married, or I wish I had the rights that women today have, because they did not have the ability to leave marriages. Back then, divorce was not a thing. So that's why you may say, oh, our grandmother suffered, but if they really suffered, why did they not leave our marriages? They did not have the privilege to. Also, if they did leave, they did not have bank accounts, they did not have land, etc. So perhaps you did not see your mother suffering because she could not voice it. Because again, GBV, gender-based violence, is a very big thing. And we all know that some men get very agitated when a woman voices her opinion. So I would just like for you to have a very open and honest conversation with the women in your life who are older, the elder women in your lives. Please, Sfiso, I think that's your name. Please just go. And then if I'm wrong, then okay. But I, for myself, I can speak as a woman and say, yeah. Okay. Lerato, I would like to also rebut. Okay, so Lerato, you spoke a lot about the roles of men and women, and you spoke a lot about biology, etc. Okay, I would like to use your logic against you and say, with your very same logic, white people also believed that black people have roles in society, that black people should only work specific jobs, that black people should only be farmers, or we should only work emakishini, right? And again, that is how it has been, because white people have been ruling for the longest time. Oh, only until we gained our freedom very recently as black people. So with that same logic, Lerato, you believe that black people should not be in the medical field or in the engineering field, etc., because that is just the role of society, right? Like you said, because you believe that men and women, quote unquote, have specific roles, which again, they have specific roles according to who? Who? And also, I would also like to say that there's this notion that people believe that in the hunter-gatherer days that women and men had set roles, which again I would like to say that has been debunked time and time and time again. It has been disproven that men and women did not have set roles. If, let's say, I as a woman could go out and hunt and catch a deer, that was my role within my community. And if you as a man were perhaps more nurturing in nature, I don't know, for whatever reason, that would be your role. Men and women did not have specific roles. And again, those roles were not set in stone. They are not binary. So because you're using tradition. So I'll use tradition and say, okay, let's go back to hunter-gatherer days. We were never set. That has been debunked. That is a myth. In the same way that Americans believed that black people were only 3/5 human, it has been debunked. So you are still going based on thoughts that have been debunked by researchers. But, I just hope that you'll do your research. And again, you mentioned about how, well, that's just how things are, and that's just how the rules or how it should be. Lerato, you mentioned a lot about that, saying, well, the biology, and that's just how it should be. That's not a real metric. There is no such thing. We cannot make laws or live based on the fact that that's just how things are, quote unquote, right? That's not a real metric. We cannot, you know what I mean? Like how, like I'm very confused by your logic by that. I mean, again, also, if you are a traditional man, like I said earlier when I first made my statements, if that's how you want to live, Lerato, or if that's how men want to live, if you want to be a traditional man, be a traditional man. However, do not impose that on those who do not want that. You speak a lot about women want a provider, women don't want to go 50-50. You cannot speak for the whole of society. You just simply cannot. That is, you simply cannot. In the same way that some black people believe that, oh, black people don't deserve rights because they are pick me black people. And it's the same way that men believe that, oh, men and women have set roles, or that women should not be doing this or doing that because that's just how it should be, or biology. Also, I'd like to say, someone said something about, oh, well, men are the leaders of the house because women want protectors, and who's going to protect the household? To that, I say, if someone breaks in your home, yeah, we're using a real world example. If someone breaks in your home, most likely they have a weapon, and unfortunately, you are no match against a weapon, whether you are a man or a woman. You know what I mean? So again, this whole notion of, well, women need a protector. I'm so sorry, but as a man yourself, you are also no match against a
Sandra,
weapon.
can I just chime in there? With the woman need a protector,
Sure.
right? I'm not gonna stand here and say women and say no, we don't, and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
But my problem is when men come in with the whole women need a protector narrative. They always go straight for this imaginary robber that will probably come once after 10 years, once after 6 years. But I've never heard a man speak about truly protecting a woman in terms of protect her emotions, protect her dignity, protect her pride, protect her happiness, protect. It's always protection from this imaginary robber. Like, when are you gearing up for this imaginary robber? Because you fail to protect me emotionally, then you're going to go put your life on the line. Singakaqedi nebond yethu wena.
Well,
And now you
Kanya,
will go and
unfortunately, these
die
men
at
can't
the hands
protect you
of this.
emotionally
So
because
Can I
a
also
lot of
jump
them.
in
for
here,
me,
guys?
I find it weird, Gucci. Men will
Can I
always
also
go
jump
straight
in?
for the. Hang on. You will go straight for your imaginary robbers, but fail with minimal tasks. You telling me that you who fails to protect my emotions, you who fails to protect my happiness, you who fails to protect my dignity as your wife, is the same person that's gonna go stand in front of a man with a gun. I don't trust that. You understand? Say it all you like, but I don't trust that.
No, 100%,
Lerato,
100%.
can I please just finish off, and
Oh,
then
yes, Mama. Yes,
I'll
And
give
then
Mama.
you.
please can you let some
Yes, yes, of course.
get
Sorry,
into,
I'll
yeah.
wrap it up.
Can you make it quick because some
Yes.
has been waiting.
Sorry. So yes, Kanya, I also agree with you 100%. Also, with that, I say that a lot of these men believe that, okay, well, women should be the ones taking care of the kids. And unfortunately, I think that's very same man who believes that women are more nurturing cannot provide care and comforts emotionally and emotional security for you, because they just have that very belief that men are not nurturing in nature, which again is not true at all. But yeah, thank you. I would just like to say that your personal beliefs cannot be a measure or a metric for how everybody should live their lives. And I would just like to leave it at that. Thank you.
Let's not drag that. I think you've mentioned it as well. But also, can I just say, from what I heard from Lerato's submission, right? The only
Kanya,
portion was him
Kanya,
speaking
Kanya,
about how
Kanya,
women.
Kanya,
Um,
Kanya,
uh,
Kanya, Kanya.
ngicela ukuqeda, ngicela ukuqeda,
No, but
ngicela
you
uk-
chimed in.
Yo, yazi
Now you want to
ukusista
finish
mawubona ukuthi
again.
ufuna ukumoderate, ngicela
No, I'm
umoderate
not
kuyeke.
moderating.
Okay,
Kanya,
moderate.
Kanya, you need to understand something. Sisanda was saying something, you chimed in. And now she just finished saying something. You also want to say something again. And some gay is still waiting here on the other end. But you need to pay attention to that. I'm not saying this is how you should do it or this is how you should do it, but you need to also understand.
Have you heard me make a submission on the panel so far? I
It's
speak
fine.
up,
It's fine.
and when I introduce, that's my style of doing things. If you don't agree with it, just say so. I'm not in the mood for a back and forth unnecessarily. Kodwa ke, you killed what I was about to say as I was about to introduce Usamge again to the panel. But anyway, you can take over, Baba.
Okay, since Star is not saying anything, some can just be short here.
Okay. Then I'll go
Sisanda.
after you. Is that okay?
Yeah. No, it's fine. I'll just be short, 10 seconds, just to address 3 points per. Yeah.
Please be
Okay.
short after Samge because she did have her hand in the panel up for a long time. Can you just allow her to make a submission, then you'll come in after her?
All right, Mama, not a problem.
So yes, I'd also be touching on the same points that Usisanda has. And I found that commonly men will use like animals, I guess I'm gonna say, to say that, you know, the animal is the protector. I'll use lions, for example, that the male lion is the protector of the pride of lionesses, etc., right? But if you look at us, if we're going to use that example, the majority of societies, I'm going to say, in the animal kingdom are actually matriarchal. The only one that we know of that is patriarchal is us as human beings who are also mammals, right? So again, my question, as I have been asking in the comment section, is when men usually, as also mentioned, have been saying, Wuti, they are the protectors, they are the providers, etc., as Kanya said, you're only providing financially, question mark. And then also as well as you are protecting us, okay, who are you protecting us from, right? Commonly, it is other men, right? So going back to that, as well as there's also a difference, and like for me personally, can we please move away from xenophobic comments, please, on the panel? But also there's before I lose my train of thought, there's also a difference between sex and gender. So we should not be saying females, we should not be saying males, we should be saying men and women. Because even if you are saying, no, but biology says X, Y, and Z, that is your biological knowledge of life sciences from high school. If you go to tertiary and above, there are intersex people exist, and even underneath the intersex umbrella there is different variations of it. So if you're saying female, commonly that is used to actually degrade women, because when you speak of female and male, you are speaking of a male dog, a female dog, an animal. It's basically removing that humanity. And also just quickly to address what Ustar had asked Miss Gina about this whole humanity thing. It's, as LT had said, it's not just tied to you as a man. It's tied to you as a man in society. That same example that I went back to, as in James can wear a skirt. It's the same thing, Uti. You are a human being first. Your gender, your culture, whatever, that follows afterwards. That is the society that feminism is trying to go towards. So that if your son or little boy wants to wear a dress to school, it's fine. Like, he's not going to get bullied about it. It's not going to be anything in that vein. That is the direction that feminism is trying to go into, so that everyone can live life with choices that is not hurting anyone else in society. That is why I'm saying that men need to decenter patriarchy. Men need to decenter the idea that patriarchy gives them of what being a man is. Being a man is your own definition of what being a man is. As Sasanda said to Lerato, Uguti, when if that is your belief, that is your belief. You cannot say, but a man being a women are more nurturing by nature. In which society? In human society? So you're telling me that there's men and boys who are not nurturing? That's not true. Being nurturing is a human trait. Being a good leader is a human trait. It is not tied to a gender binary. It is not primarily binary. Gender roles are a social construct that we as human beings have made up. That's why it's the same thing of Uguti. Now we're having this whole beef of Uguti, men taking women's surnames, men and paternity leave, this emasculation. you are basically saying that men are being emasculated according to the definition of what a man is according to the patriarchy, and that is harmful towards men as well. Also, the leading cause of death for men between the ages of 25 and 55, if I'm correct, is suicide. Why? Due to these societal pressures that are taking away your humanity. A man is allowed to cry. A man is allowed to have emotions. A man is allowed to be nurturing. A man is allowed to like whatever the hell he likes. That is your definition of being a man. Gender roles are a social construct. There's a difference between sex and there's a difference between gender. So yes, that was just the point and the rebuttals that I wanted to say. Thank you.
Sammy, can I just ask you quickly?
Mm.
Would you date a man that wears the same skirts that you have?
Yes, I am part of the
A
LGBTQIA
miniskirt?
community. Yes, I would fully
Oh,
100%.
okay.
I'd even go with him and we'd get the same skirt if we want. See match.
Okay. Another one that I want to understand is that um, women have all the rights that men have today.
Do they?
And yeah, we have the same rights. We have which right did I have that you don't have?
There's still discussions around the glass ceiling.
Which right is that?
It's basically that we are not getting the same pay as men. There's also different societal pressures that make women
There
not be
are
able to.
there are there are women that are out earning men right now
Why?
because there's equal opportunity now.
So then is it a thing of Uguti, the women are not being able to break the glass ceiling, or is it because women are now more educated than men, so now they're
Women are
earning
breaking the
more
ceiling
than men
currently as we
because...
speak. More women
Sorry?
are more educated. Listen, more women are more educated right now, right?
Yes.
And more women are getting jobs. Some are getting higher positions than men. This is
Yes,
happening.
because
It's not.
yes, because by
Yes, I
merit.
understand. Yes, I understand. It's still a small number, but it's getting there,
Yes.
nonetheless. However, there is no man that is stopping women from working in the CIT industry that Lerato was mentioning. There is no man that is stopping women from working there. You can apply for it. You can go into the security sector if you want as a woman. You can do it today. You can.
Mm.
There are women that are hired in the security sector. Um, there are women in the military now. In fact, women and look the perfect example, the mine.
Mm.
More women are going there, but not in large numbers because women are not choosing these jobs. It's not like we are stopping women and saying, no, no, don't come this side. No, no, no. Women are just choosing the other side of jobs. Women are more inclined to the jobs that are socially. This is what women choose in high numbers, and no one is forcing
Wait,
women to choose
wait.
these things.
Wait, no, right. So similarly, they did a study in, I think it's Sweden, right, where they said the same thing, Uti, women, you can apply for whatever you want, study whatever you want, right? But the biases that were neglected within that study is that as human beings, we do not live in a vacuum. We do not live in isolation. The way that study should have properly been done is we should have taken a group of infants and put them on basically an island where they have no influence. Because yes, you can say to me, Uguti, Samke, I'm not going to tell you to not do X, Y, and Z, but what have I been conditioned to believe? What have I been told to believe from me being a little girl all the way up until I was an adult? That is actually going
But
to change my decisions and my choices. So you
yeah, but
cannot
you
say
have
to me that
changed.
women are given the choice when they're not given the choice because they've been conditioned by society
Wait,
to actually believe something that's different from what a policy and etc. is actually allowing them to do. That does not make
you
sense.
you are a feminist, right?
Yes.
That means you've deconstructed the patriarchy so that you can have a different view from it, right? That
That's
means
the
you are
journey that I'm going
unconditioning
along,
yourself.
yes?
Yeah,
So
that
because
means you are listen. This is what you're saying, that you are unconditioning yourself from patriarchy, and then you're taking a different stance, right? And this stance that you've taken has been accommodated by most countries currently. It's been recognized by most countries right now as we speak. We have women in parliament, we have women in military, we have women in the security sector, we have women in entrepreneurship, we have women all over the spaces, right? But women are not flocking into dangerous jobs like you guys are flocking into the nursing or rather the medical fraternity. You're not flocking in numbers that side. This is not something that men are stopping you from. Yes, you can go and we can do a study with children, put them there and see how they turn out. That could be something different, which is good for anyone to do anyway. But my point is this one, is that when you guys put it in a way that it is because of men that you guys are here, and with all the opportunities that are given to women right now, and then you say men are not giving you space. Where? Because we have the same rights. We have the same rights right now, currently as we speak. We can vote. I can vote. You can vote. You can buy a house. You can buy a land. I can do the same thing. We can do almost the same thing currently right now. However, when you are in a relationship and there's this imaginary beggar comes to the house, you expect me as a man to stand up first, and then maybe you can assist. Whether there's a gun there or this guy is carrying a knife or whatever, we'll deal with it when we meet this burglar. But for now, I have to make sure that everyone is behind me. It's and women. Okay, another fact is that women are, according to what we see, women are more attracted to a taller man who has big shoulders, who seems as like a protector. You guys are attracted to that thing. I'm not
Wait,
saying
pause, right? If we do a study of the population, right? And then that category that you just said, women are attracted to men who are taller, men who have broader shoulders, etc., etc. So if we do a census of the population of men that fit that category, right? Let's say then that's 5% of men. So the other 95% of men are those men not married. Are there short men who are not married? Are
no, I'm
there
not
men who
arguing.
do
I'm
not have
not.
broad
My
shoulders who
argument.
are not
Wait.
married?
My argument is not that the shorter men are not married. I'm not arguing that one. I'm saying women are attracted to those kind of a setup of a man. You
Is that
guys
what
want
women
a
told
either.
you?
Wait. In majority, most of the time, women would say my preference is a taller guy, broad shoulders. That speaks to protection because you know when you're with him, you feel safe because he's broad in his shoulders, he's taller, so that means he can protect you. That's why you guys like this thing. I didn't make this thing up. This is what we were told by women.
No, can I try? Samke,
Of
is that
course, go
okay?
ahead.
Okay. Start. There's a few things, man. I just want to address. I think, as Samke was saying, if you just look at the population of South Africa, it's just not borne out that women find men who are taller and broad shoulders and all of this attractive. Because you can just go into any township. Poor people get married. Poor men get married, right? Short men get married. So this idea that somehow women are attracted to this because they want protection is not borne out by empirical facts. You just need to go outside and look at what's happening in South Africa right now.
My God, I'm not arguing that people that are short are not getting married. That's not my argument.
No,
Women
but your
have told
argument
us,
doesn't stand
listen,
because you're saying
women
that
have told us that they want taller men.
which
This
women,
is what we heard from women. I'm
which
not making
women,
this thing up.
which woman?
I'm not saying short men are not married. I'm not saying that. That's not my argument. My argument is that
LT. Tall, dark, and handsome. Did it say
Yes.
short, dark, and
done.
handsome?
Okay. So I also want someone with a fat ass, but doesn't mean I'm going to marry that person. So
We are
the
not
assumption that's
arguing
called
that.
that you want.
LT, that is not the argument, my guy. I'm not
Hey,
That's what I'm
arguing
trying
for
to
hey,
that
say
one.
to you. I'm
don't
trying to.
take him out based on the fabric of society.
No, guys,
Usta,
I'm telling you.
Usta is talking about the
Group.
concept
Okay,
about
just
tall, dark, and handsome.
it doesn't matter.
About,
I'm telling you that
it
empirically,
matters.
what's
No, it
happening
matters. It
in
matters.
reality, what we have theoretically and generally, and what's ever happening, what people think and what actually is happening are two different things. So you
Thank
guys are
you.
talking about something imaginary and something that's theoretical. I'm talking about
Thank you.
reality of what is actually happening,
I agree with you,
Thank
LT.
you.
I
right?
agree
So
with
there's a
you.
difference there. So that's one. I hope we've dealt with that
Hey,
one.
hey, Buffett. Ngidla la Buffett. Yazi ngidla
Okay.
inhloko.
Grip, can I just finish?
Come
Okay. Second one is the idea that there's different rights for men and women. All of us have more or less the same rights in South Africa, right? Or speak to South Africa. The issue is the application of those things, right? And in as much as the Constitution and the law says we've got equal rights, the application of that is not the same. So the law allows a woman to take maternity leave. However, she may get fired because of that. They've got the right.
Chime in after
Hold
you.
on,
No.
guys.
I mean, LT, sorry, LT, can I chime in after you on that?
Yeah, sure. So
Just to
that's
piggyback
the
off your
one thing. The
point.
other thing, if you don't believe the things that I say, just watch these TV shows. What's this on Moja Love?
A woman will be
Mama Zai.
fired from
Hold on.
taking a maternity leave.
Yes.
Oh
So
man,
she's
Guys,
got.
can we please speak in
that's wrong.
turns? Can we not talk over
Can
each
I just
other?
finish up? The other one is inheritance, right? So watch this show called Mama Zai, where woman is married to someone. It's a show that I think it was 2 weeks ago. She was married to someone, right? The guy died. The family came and kicked her out. She has her right, right, to actually then, because they were married in community property, customarily, the family kicked her out. She is by law entitled to 50% of whatever that estate was, but she's not getting it, right? She does not know that she has that right, and so therefore she is actually not enacting it. So the application and what happens in reality is different from what the law is saying, right? And that's where there's a disparity that we actually, one, it's partly because of an information problem, so people do not know that they've got these rights. And then the other one is an actually application problem where the person with the power in this case, or in the case that I put before, was the employer. So the employer either is through ignorance or the fact that then they actually are scammers or they're just abusing their power, right? So the idea that men and women have different rights, no, we have the same rights, but the application and the reality of it that you see on a daily basis differs. That the application of it is that men are still more likely to benefit more than women do. I can give you other examples if you want.
LT, I want to find out from you.
Can I hop on?
What is the meaning of application? Because remember, with law, there's something that we call procedure. So,
Yes.
so give me your definition of application, because now.
Can I try answer that, LT, if you would let me? Or
Sure.
Okay, you can go. You can go ahead, Mama.
So I've been listening to what LT is saying, and I think it comes down, Lerato, to equity versus equality. Okay, I think the best example I can use, especially in a South African context, is apartheid. Okay, so we all know that Black people gained equality after apartheid. However, we did not start off on the same playing field. The reason why Black people are still so disenfranchised, even in the workplace, and why like this invisible glass ceiling exists is because of apartheid. Although we gained our freedoms, we did not gain equality. It's the same context like of women. I please correct me if I'm wrong, LT. It's like yes, okay, men and women theoretically, and how it should be is that we should be having the same equal rights and same opportunities in the workplace, but that's just simply not how it is. They are invisible there are invisible barriers within the workplace, like how someone said women may get fired for just simply taking maternity leave. There's sexism within the workplace. There are all of these barriers that women face that, although it's not blatant, it's not, because obviously it's not constitutional, that does not deny its existence. In the same way that you as a Black person may experience pay disparities in your workplace because you are Black, is the same reason why women experience like pay gap disparities and all of those things. I think that's the application, but please, LT, chime in.
Okay, I would like to come in here to say that when we speak of the application in terms of law, we are speaking of procedure, meaning that you guys cannot be discriminated. And LT, there's no way that there would not be any consequence towards the employer if they would fire a woman for taking maternity leave. There's no way, my chief. That's
Okay.
why I got.
Hold on, before we go far, just look at the CCMA cases. It does happen.
Yes, wait. That's where I'm going
It
to
does
say.
happen. So
No,
the idea
LT,
that there's
wait.
consequences does not mean it does not happen.
Let me
Meg,
finish.
LT,
Let me
LT,
finish. Let me
LT,
finish.
Meg.
What I'm saying to you, LT, is that in the event wherein an employer will dismiss a woman for taking maternity leave, when it gets to CCMA or bargaining council, because remember that a specific industry sector goes to bargaining council, and then a company that is not operating within a bargaining council or a sector, it goes to CCMA. When this case lands either on those tribunals, the CCMA or the bargaining council will award the employee whether reinstatement or compensation, depending on ufunani, right? That's why I'm saying that in terms of applying the law, the procedure is the same. So nobody can be excluded, no matter what. Nobody can be excluded. Now, let's go to
Hold on. Before you go,
yeah,
does
yeah.
that mean people aren't excluded? Because
No,
people cannot be excluded, or people actually being excluded?
no. They're not excluded. Why am I saying that? Remember that we have Employment Equity Act,
All
right?
right. So, okay, hold
Employ-
on.
yeah.
Lerato, there's other people, man. I don't want us to have a dialogue, and you just take too long to get to your points. All I'm saying to you is a very simple thing, is that there is a difference to what the law aspires and what the law says to what actually happens. Whether now the law has given you everyone and given everyone equal rights, the mere fact that stuff like this happens, the mere fact that it even ends up at CCMA tells you that it's happening. There's some that do not end up at CCMA. So that tells you that the reality is that people are not being treated the same. The law only comes in when someone then complains or someone then puts in an application. That's it. So that's not where my argument is. I'm not arguing the law. I'm saying that the law does not reach everywhere, and reality of the situation is that there is discrimination.
But remember, you spoke of application as one of
So
the factors that.
semantics. So
No.
okay.
You spoke of
No,
application, one
let's
of the
let's let, let,
factors,
let
right?
me just then clarify that so that we don't get into this. I'm talking about reality. Forget application. I get
No,
what
I
you mean.
cannot forget application, Chief,
No,
because you
because
made that
that does
argument.
not take us anywhere, my guy.
No, I
This
cannot wait.
argument does not take us
I
anywhere.
cannot move away from that because you
Actually,
made it.
Rato, I think we're going back and forth now. Can we wrap it up and give others a chance to speak? Sorry.
All right, let me just wrap it up now on my end to say
I,
that.
I am others. I think we get the point, my lord. I think we get the point. Can I make a submission? I think I will be 30 seconds maximum. Can I?
No, go ahead, Chief. Go ahead, Chief. Go ahead.
It is so scary to see how much men actually fear women. When for so many years we have pretended and acted like we are superior. And now that women are being given the opportunity to compete with us, we are losing our minds. How are we so uncomfortable competing with people that we have continued to assume that we are greater than? Why are you scared? Let women step up. Let women show up. Let women dominate. Let women compete. That is my take. My submission is very short and is very quick. And if there's a man here who feels as if men are superior and so they should dominate, open the playing field, make it level. I guarantee you women will knock it out the park.
Can I
And I
please
think
come after you?
and I think that is what we as men are afraid of. This domination has been so delicious. It has served us well. The servitude of females has put us on a pedestal that has made us reign supreme. And for the first time now, we are having to prove ourselves. Not for what we are, but for who we are. And these women are coming in like a tsunami wave. And we know they will wipe us out because we cannot compete with them. So how about we rewrite the books of history and we become the generation that says, she first, female, goddess, reigns supreme. Like how you had your Steve Bigos through black consciousness become the pioneers of democracy. We as men now have the opportunity to be the pioneers that will empower women to step up and do what needs to be done. I feel like we are too afraid as men because we know they will do a good job. That is my submission. I land.
Sorry,
Yeah, you can take the field.
and just to add to what the group is saying is, if you look at statistics, it's actually in agreement with what you're saying. I think someone else previously mentioned that now women are more educated, and then someone in the comments also mentioned that if you're more educated, that would usually mean higher pay. If you look at it statistically, there are now more women in higher places of education, which then again, as I said, naturally, then obviously you're going to get a job that's going to be better pay. And also just not to go back, but with the back and forth, that yes, our laws say something, but the application most of the time is it's not the same. Our constitution is absolutely beautiful, but the problem is that it's not being applied the way that it should be. Even with, again, homophobia should not be a thing, but look at the rate of women who are lesbians who are getting correctionally raped. Look at sexism in the workplace that goes unchecked. Yes, our constitution is absolutely beautiful. Yes, there can be workshops that are done, but how far is the reach of those workshops? How far is the actual application of the laws and our constitution actually going? It's not. The majority of our population is not educated to the point where this is actually in application. And that's what we mean by in application, is that, yes, I can say, yeah, but go to the CCMA. How many people know about the CCMA? And nakhona ngiyakude, how many people know about joining a union? Or how many people
I
are pulled
disagree with
away
you.
from joining a union? Please
I
repeat.
disagree with you.
Yes, you can say.
I disagree with you. I don't think it has anything to do with education or intellectualism. It is a planned attack on the feminine because you are seeing the same thing. Hear me out, hear me out. You are seeing the same thing in Europe. You're seeing the same thing in China. You're seeing the same thing in America. Women have been dominated for a very long time by highly educated individuals. So it's got nothing to do with what the law says and how it is applied. It's a planned attack. And the domination that we have been exercising on women has now come back to bite us in our asses because we can see that it's not working. So it's got nothing to do with education or intellectualism. It's got everything to do with the truth, which is the fact that everything is part of the collective consciousness and the gods know what the gods are doing. And we as men have enjoyed this dominance for such a long time and they let us. But now the universe is now coming back to correct itself. It's got nothing to do with education and intellectualism. It's got everything to do with righteousness. She, goddess, reigns supreme. The planet belongs to her. And now she's standing up to reascend to the throne. And it's got nothing to do with education. It's got nothing to do with the law. It's got nothing to do with intellectualism. It's got everything to do with the truth. Men have nipples that they don't use.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
That is my point. It's got nothing to do with people having to become more educated or intellectualized. No. We just need to accept the truth that it's about time that we as men stepped aside and we allow the women to rule. It's okay. They've ruled for many years. And I think they will do an even better job now if we can now give them the power to rule. And when I say give them, it's not like we are giving them. The power is theirs. That is my point.
Okay,
That
thank
is
you. I
what
think
I
LT has something to say.
Oh no, I was stuck as nipples, but okay. Anyway, That was interesting.
Let
The
me, let me, let me,
question
let me, let me,
always
let me,
come
let me,
from
let me,
this.
LT. Give me 20 seconds. I'll knock
Sure.
that point out the park. I'll knock that point out the park. Give me 20 seconds. The reason why men have nipples is proof that they are nothing but vessels that come from the she goddess. We have nipples that we don't use, which means that the person who created us is the one who has nipples that she uses. Anyways, that's my 20 seconds done.
The growth. The
100%.
growth. Okay. I think we're running out of time. But one thing I'd like, and I suppose there's not too many guys here.
Can I talk after you, LT, if that's okay?
Sure, it was just a question, and I suppose the only guy we can put this to is Lerato.
Okay.
If you can just concisely and like very like direct, tell us why he feels emasculated by all of this that's happening. Just like very quick, so that maybe we're missing something here.
I
'Cause-
will gladly also would like to know.
LT, are you directing a question to me?
yeah, for sure.
What did you say?
I'm asking is why do you feel emasculated, or what is it that makes you feel emasculated
No, my brother.
in relation to this topic?
No. Nothing makes me feel emasculated pertaining to this because remember, masculinity basically it means what can I say? Okay, from emasculating, it means you as a man, your core nature as a man gets stripped off. So here, it was just a conversation or an engagement, right? To say that number one, I wanted to address only 3 points from Sisanda, and then number two, to also come to that point wherein you spoke about that short man also short men
All
also
over the
do
place. Straight to the point.
paternity, right?
Emasculated. Not who said what.
Oh, but
Straight to the point.
give
Why
Lerato
do
a
you
chance
feel
to speak,
emasculated?
Yeah.
because
Come again?
you also got your chance.
Why do you feel emasculated, sir?
No.
Hit the
I
nail in the
said
head.
no. I am
Don't
not.
go around.
I
Ask me a straight
no
question.
no 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 no. Listen, I said no.
Okay.
I do not feel emasculated.
Sure.
That's what I said, and I addressed this point even when I was making my submission,
Okay.
right?
So let's
Because
stop there.
no,
Lerato, let's
no.
stop there. We're
Remember,
almost done,
Chief.
my man. It's only 12 minutes. I'll be quick. So masculinity does not depend. So feminism does not then emasculate men, right? Or is not demasculating men, from what I'm hearing from you. As a masculine man, you don't feel emasculated by feminism. So then what's the issue then?
What do you mean? What's the issue, Chief? Because I'm not
Okay,
getting
let me
you.
simplify the
You
question.
understood my.
Okay,
You see, that's why the grip.
Let me
Just
simplify the
just a
question.
quick one. Just a quick one.
Okay, let
Just
me
a quick
simplify the
one.
question.
Just a
Let
quick
me
one.
simplify the question.
Right?
Let me simplify the question. Why do you have nipples?
Remember that
Why do
then,
you have nipples?
Mamel. That's the point, guys, that I'm trying to walk you through the thought process so that when you talk
It's
to
nonsense
me,
that
no,
you
no,
are
no, no,
telling
no,
us,
no,
you're
no, no.
giving us nonsense.
Wait, the
It's
grip.
12 o'clock.
No,
The
no, 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 no,
question
no, no, no.
is,
Wait,
the
wait,
question is,
wait,
why do
wait.
you have nipples?
Wait, don't rush for the answer. Wait, right? So I'll start off with you, the grip, because ngiyabona ukuthi impatient. Remember now, Uti, the reason why it's nipple and the reason why we have the line there ngaphansi, including our scrotum, it is when sperm malingena and fertilizes the egg. Maicala is sex or gender, it becomes XS, and then if the chromosome of the father are strong, then it's going to become XY.
I'm actually
Then
going to disagree with that on a biological
Can I
term.
please speak after Lerato?
okay, wait.
Please.
Yeah? And then that's when mighty XY, then the gender will be a boy. But by virtue or nature, nje, kuba XX and then S
Why do you
umtana.
have nipples? Why do you have nipples? Because now, isn't now,
Sorry, guys. Can we please let Sisanda speak and then, yeah.
Thank you, Sange. Lerato, I think I think I understand LT's question, and maybe I don't. I think you're not understanding the way he's phrasing it. But I suppose when he asks, "Why do you feel emasculated by feminism or femininity?" I think it's because it kind of seems like you're coming on the defense. Obviously, we're making all these talking points about women gaining equality and women's positions in the workplace, and it comes off very defensive. And so I think in that defensiveness, it's giving you feel a bit emasculated, or you feel as though your role or your dominance, quote unquote, is it's threatened. Okay.
No, no, no,
Also,
no. I don't feel that. I really don't feel that, and I
okay.
did submit that during my submission. Right. That's what I said during my submission. Uti, no, I don't feel emasculated, because remember, I even just stated now to say that when a human being, whether female or male, they strip you off your main core as a man, nje, you become emasculated. You are not on your true nature, right? On your true nature.
Okay,
That's
I would
that's
like to. I'll let the men. I'll let the men answer or speak on that because I'm not a man. And I'll let LT speak on that or someone else. But also you guys were going back and forth about this whole thing of application in the workplace,
yeah.
and Lerato, I would just like to obviously bring it back to you're a black person. I'm assuming, right? And so in that. I'm assuming that you've experienced racism in some form in the workplace, and although it is unconstitutional for you to experience discrimination because you are black, it's the same way that women experience discrimination in the workforce. Even though it is unconstitutional, it does not negate the fact that it still happens. I think that's yes, racism again. It just I'm making an analogy that I think Lerato could relate to as a black person. So I think the disconnect comes in the fact that because you've never experienced it, you therefore deny its existence, right? In the same way that a white person has never experienced racism in the workplace, they will deny its existence because they've never seen it. But you cannot deny the existence of sexism and the gender pay gap, again, because you are not a woman, so you do not experience the discrimination that women experience within the workplace. Although it is unconstitutional, it still happens. Application and the law, and what our constitution says, and application are two completely different things. That is what I would like to say. I'm not going to go back in circles, it would just be redundant, but that's what I have to say.
So, Sisanda, do you know DEI? Do you know DEI in the workplace? Do you know DEI?
No, would you please explain it to me?
There's no DEI in South Africa, my guy.
No, 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 Chief. Let me
It's
tell
not a
you.
South African concept, so
Let,
let's
let,
not
let,
start.
let, no, 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 LT. Let me tell you something. Nah, let me tell you something, Chief. Right
Just bring it
now,
back to South Africa. Just bring it
right
so that
now,
it's clear.
Mamela, right now, where I'm
Don't waste our time.
no, 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 no,
Wasting
no,
our time.
guys, you cannot be
Wasting our
impatient
time.
whilst I give you time to talk.
You're
No,
wasting
no,
our
no,
time.
that's unfair, right? LT, where I'm currently working, Chief, we have that. That's why I'm talking about Uti. When it comes to application, guys, application is there. It's no maranjani. The law is the law. It is there. Yes, we may have circumstances wherein you made an example, LT. There are employers who would dismiss a woman for going with maternity leave. However, there will be a consequence once that person refers a case to CCMA or bargaining council, right? So it's not about what now the application of the law discriminates women. Not in the workplace as black people we become discriminated. No, that's why we're an auditor as well. So it would be a thing of a grapevine, perhaps. Let me put it like that, Sisand. Which okay, yeah, other white people would be racist, and but for attaining opportunities, that's where equality will take place. That's where it will take place. Hence, why I'm not agreeing with
And
certain
can
things.
I just leave you? Can I, after this live, can you please just go look up equality versus equity? And I think you'll understand my point a lot better. And also just the fact that it's not always, again, like the law is not always translated into application. It does not, we don't live in a perfect society where just because the law says racism is wrong and just because the law says sexism is wrong and the gender pay gap is wrong does not mean that those things do not take place. And that's what I am trying to
What's your profession, Sisanda? Just a
What's
quick one.
my
Profession.
profession?
Yeah.
I'm a
So
student.
Oh, you're a student.
Yes.
Okay. Go to my go to LinkedIn.
The argument
Wait
is
the
closed
crib.
now.
Wait the crib. Go
Argument is
to
closed. No,
LinkedIn.
no, no, no. We are
Go to
listening to the
LinkedIn,
argument. What you
and
have now
then
done is called the
yeah.
fallacy of ad
Trying to cover
hominem,
the fact
where
that I'm
instead of
young and
making your
trying to
argument about
just
the point,
qualify my
you make
argument,
your
and that's
argument
the
about the
stand.
individual.
No, 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 no,
Don't
no,
make
no,
your
no,
argument
no,
about the
no, 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 no,
individual.
no, 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 no,
Make your
no.
argument about the
You
point.
are
That is called the fallacy
Yes,
of
jumping the
ad
Lerato, I think you're
gun.
hominem.
trying to
You
disqualify
are
my argument
jumping
based on my age
the
and based
thing.
on my experience, but
No,
it
no, no,
still
no,
Yes,
no.
it's called
stands.
the
I don't want
fallacy
to,
of ad
Sisanda,
hominem. There's a name
you know
in
what's
between.
happening here, ne?
Fallacy of ad hominem.
You
Where
know what's
instead of
happening here,
you
ne?
making your points about your point, you're trying to make it
The
about the
problem,
individual.
Sisanda, the problem here, ne, is that we are here to engage and educate each other. Hence why I'm asking you, Uguti, what is your profession? Because the way you talk, your submissions
Baba,
made
you're
me
talking.
to
You are
ask
talking.
that
I'm talking about.
question.
You are the one
So
who's talking about answer.
no, 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 wait, the grip. So what needs to happen? Ne? Look at benchmarking, salary benchmarking. Ne? Look at salary benchmarking, and then you will see ukuthi in terms of ukubhadala compensation when it comes to women are being supported. Now, it's just that now, Vede, you are saying you are still a student and all of those things. However, when you get into a workplace, then you are going to
That's why
experience
your argument is messed up,
those
because
things,
now you are wiring
right?
it about around that.
So
Yeah.
it
Wide
it
of
would
the
be
world.
that.
Can I make
Wide
that
of the
Let's
world.
do.
We're talking to
Okay,
big
guys,
boys now. We are here.
can we just have final
yeah.
statements and wrap it up?
Sure. Just to address Lerato, because I didn't understand what was going on now. So just a quick example, because I can see you seem to be in labor law, right? From the sounds of it.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I can tell. I can tell. So, short little thing that you can go and look up. The benchmarking that you talk about in the financial sector has been proven, right? There actually was a complaint that went to the Reserve Bank and the Financial Services Conduct Authority, right? That the salaries of black people in banking are not where it should be, right? And that's why they set up the BE Commission and all of these things. But put that beside. What I want you to do, since you're in the legal field, go and look at candidate attorney ads for posts in Pretoria. They will specifically say have to speak Afrikaans and have to drive a car, right? So that is a requirement that you know that will exclude black people specifically. You know that, but the law doesn't say anything about it. So that's just giving you an example of how the law, in as much as it is there, it is not necessarily adhered to and can be abused.
So are we saying that there are no black people who
No,
speak
I'm
Afrikaans? Is that
saying
what
to
you're
you,
saying?
no, I'm saying to you, it is used specifically to discriminate because they're going to say this candidate cannot be in this firm because they don't speak Afrikaans.
Right.
You see what I'm
So
saying? So let's not make an argument. I mean, it's almost closed.
yeah, but Tangiti Pera, you guys make submissions, and when I have to counter,
You have to be
you
quick,
guys
though.
don't want.
Be
You don't
quick, though.
want. So
Okay, be
this
quick.
is not an open thing, Moss.
Be quick, though.
We're talking about nuances now, like
Right? So I'm saying to you, Chief, yes, it is there in terms of my job ad. However, I'm saying there are black people who can speak Afrikaans, and I know more than 20 people who are working in such firms as well, right? So it's not a thing of saying, we are excluding black people. No, we have been equipped as well.
Okay, that's fine. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Final submissions, and then we close. Look, from my standpoint, I still don't understand the issue that men have with this whole story. Your manhood is not determined, as I said at the very beginning. Your manhood is not determined by what other people do or don't do. Your manhood, your masculinity, or whatever it is that you want to call it, is not determined by what women do or what women don't do. It is determined by yourself and how you carry yourself. That is the most important thing when it comes to this. Live your life the way you want, and leave other people to do whatever it is. It's got nothing to do with you. Just as much as whether men change their surnames to the wives' surnames, it's got nothing to do with you. Just leave it alone. I'll end there.
Okay,
I
guys.
would like to point out a bit of irony in that Lerato was talking about the fact that, women don't face discrimination in the workplace, and yet I feel as though he was kind of saying that I am not qualified per se to speak on what I'm speaking on because of my age, and I just thought that was a bit ironic.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. It's been really an interesting conversation, and the panelists have been exceptional. Thank you guys for your thoughts. The live is ending now. Should have ended at 12 anyway. Had to extend it. Yeah, I think that's just about what I need to say and what I have to say. Thank you guys for your thoughts, for your opinions. Those in the comment, I appreciate you, and those on the panel, thank you so much for all that you've shared with us. We do appreciate you. Do have a good evening. And we do this every day, by the way. If you're new here, we do this every day, 8 p.m. Every day we meet here at 8 p.m. Let's meet again tomorrow, perhaps for the same topic or something else, but let's meet again tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Night.